Ja, natürlich. Okay.
Ja, natürlich. Alright. Let me see. Alright. Good. Then, if you would be so kind, go to Spectre Comms Chatter on the event page. That's where the theory slides are linked. Actually, I can just put a link in TeamSpeak.
Thank you very much.
Is the mic okay? You can hear me?
Yes.
All right.
Nice one.
All right, link. Yep, link is on CAS Theory channel also. So before we start, a little disclaimer. I am aware that tonight some of you have done this before. Some of you have done this many, many times in the A10s, for example. And some of us actually do this in real life, not including me. So the level of background here is very heterogeneous, and what we'll do tonight is a quite simple and straightforward CAS training. And for this reason, I'm going to include or focus on the things in CAS that I think are important to get started. Any further things such as exact distances to calculate the probability that weapons might go off the impact point and stuff like that, which conditions are used to assess when it's actually considered danger close. All this is more a concern of the actual JTAGs other than the CAS flight. So this briefing will be aimed towards being a CAS flight and fly CAS other than controlling. All right, with that said, let's go to the second page. What is close air support? And I say this in my own words other than reading it. Basically, whenever there's friendlies on the same grid, we need a CAS control for air-to-ground attacks in order to minimize the risk of hitting friendlies. So this in contrast to armed reconnaissance, where you basically get a kill box. Everything in there is considered to be a target, and you just go hunting. There's two types of controllers. There's a FAC-A or a JTAG. FAC-A is just a guy sitting in a sensor-equipped aircraft. In our case, we use the A10s, but Junior is also going to use a K50 tonight to be a FAC-A. And usually what happens is that the FAC-A flight gets some basic information beforehand. They depart, they try to get on scene beforehand, they try to build a picture, and then they are able to receive first CAS flights and talk them onto the targets. That's exactly what you're going to have today. And the other more desirable scenario would be to have someone on the ground actually with the friendly troops who has a perfect picture because he actually sees what is going on the group, and that would be a joint terminal attack controller called JTAG. One scenario, one situation that can happen is, and this is basically what I said before, I'm not going to go into detail as to when we actually consider a danger close. This is when there's a high probability that your weapons might impact on friendlies simply because the friendlies are so close by. That's a danger close scenario. This will be included in the CAS brief that it is danger close, and the JTAG or the FAC-A, and I'll call it JTAG from now on, even though it's going to be FAC-A tonight, will have to include the initials of the ground force commander. So if something goes wrong, that the guy who actually authorized the attack can be identified later on. Bear, I think you're hot micing.
Sorry, my bad.
No problem. All right, next slide. That's the principal CAS flow. So you see there's in total 15 items. I'll try to make this as short as I can. And for this reason, I'll go basically only through those which are really important for us now. So number 1, 2, and 3, CAS request, mission planning, and en route AO update is optional, and I can summarize this. For example, by me saying, okay, tonight you do CAS training, this will be your CAS request. The mission planning was already done on my side because I gave each flight a volt time, so a time at a time when you should check in at the contact point with the JTAG. That is your mission planning. You don't actually need to know anything other than that. And this is realistic, so there can be a situation on the ground, shit starts hitting the fan, CAS request comes up, and you might get rerouted and now fly basically a spontaneous CAS mission. We had this happen many times in the A10s when nasty mission commanders did those rerouting on purpose. And then this is optional when we have AVIX control. make use of that flight time, you already might receive information about the area, which we call a AO update, but you might not. So today you will not. Well, I think Junior already put info in there, so there you have your AO update already for those flights working with Junior. Flights working with Beast 1 did not get it. So you'll start by item number 4, which is you establish the comms with the JTAG of FAC-A, and again at the contact point at the given time. Now the most important thing that you do is you don't come on frequency and start giving your CAS brief and stuff. You basically will find yourself arriving on a frequency, a CAS frequency, which is usually super busy. So wait until the frequency is open, and then when there is a pause, you establish contact by first of all saying that you're on his frequency. So JTAG Warrior Spectre 1-1, how do you read? You'll get a reply, Spectre 1 Warrior, read you 4x5, well, and probably you get something like I'll call you back because he's probably busy. So usually when we fly CAS, we have 2 to 3 CAS assets and everybody's just babbling. So therefore, it's very important that you put emphasis on this, because it's really important that you do not send this information until you know the receiving party is ready for it. This counts for all the remaining transmissions. All right, so usually the JTAG will check you out by requesting you to authenticate. Let's go to the next slide. This authentication in principle is, as far as I understand, is up to the JTAG or the CAS flight. If it's done, you should have this AET 100 table that you find also on the full mission briefing. And the workflow is the following. You always start with alpha, and go left alpha, for example, alpha, golf, Juliet. So you go alpha, and then you go down until you see golf, and then you go to the right until you see Juliet, and then the correct answer would be Yankees. I didn't follow this. So if I would follow this example here on the slide, I'd say authenticate Alpha Juliet Whiskey. So you start with Alpha, you go down until you find the Juliet, Alpha Juliet Whiskey, go down to Juliet. Once you arrive at Juliet, you go to the right until you find the third letter Whiskey, and then the code is the one below that one. So Alpha Juliet Whiskey, you'll come back with Echo. Any questions for the authentication? Did everyone understand that?
Entropy, occasionally I hear people who have just been authenticated successfully then authenticate the person that authenticated them. Is there any real reason for that?
Say that again, I didn't get that.
So occasionally I will hear people, so a controller, a JTAG or AWACS, whoever, will say to a flight authenticate whatever. They receive the correct response, and then the flight will then authenticate the AWACS or the controller.
Yeah, actually that would be redundant, but usually we do it like this. So they do it in both ways. But I agree. Well, he could just give you... Yeah, well, actually, yeah, it's true. It probably should be sufficient for one.
It's needless, is what you're saying.
Yeah, it is redundant.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, it is redundant.
Is it really? I mean, if I don't have the table, let's assume I don't have the table, and I go, okay, Alpha, Foxtrot, Zulu, and you come back with the correct answer. I don't know it's the correct answer, but you give me a correct answer. You're just giving me a code. Then I don't I'm not authenticated back because I just threw out three.
Guys, I don't want. Sorry to cut you off. I don't want to spend too much time on this. But if I then simply say correct, and you know it's correct, then you still don't know if I have the correct table. I could give you just 3 random letters.
Can I add something? Because there is only one way, and you are forbidden to say that is correct after the authentication is correct. You cannot say that.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, that's very important. So the enemy listening in can't start collecting correct answers. So the way we usually do this is we do it both ways. One flight starts asking for authentication, you give it, and then we go the other way around, so that both sides are properly authenticated. But as I said, it's optional. I can just check in with the JTAG. JTAG wants me to authenticate. I don't have to authenticate him back. It is up to me. Therefore, just do as you wish. All right. So the authentication. As I read chat. Okay, so you establish comms, you are happy with the authentication, and then the actual flow begins. And the actual flow usually starts by the JTAG. Now, the order now can also be changed, but usually you get a next thing after the authentication is you get a traffic and airspace update. I, as a CAS flight, always interpret that as soon as I get this, I am then also allowed to basically come close, get to my assigned holding point, to my altitude. I try to get this out of the way so I know that I'm basically deconflicted. Because this is now a tight control, and the actual deconfliction between the flights is now the JTAG's job. So let's go to the next slide, which is the traffic and airspace updates, item 6. So when so after the authentication, as soon as the JTAG has time, I'd say Spectre 11 Warrior, traffic update as follows. And then I'll give you a list of airframes which are in the area of operation. When I am busy, I usually add to the flight readback own restrictions only, so they don't have to read back where Dragon, where Beast, and where Axis, as long as Spectre knows that they are cleared at flight level 200 and above, and they should anchor west of range 1. That's all I need to hear as a JTAG. This is just something to speed up. So the way I understand it is the mandatory readback item is only for the flight, their clearance, basically. And the rest, where Dragon, where Beast, where Axis, is for their SA, but it's not mandatory to read that back. So everything clear so far. So you get a traffic update, you get told who is in the area, and you usually get a restriction. If there is several airframes in the area, you get a restriction not below 200 or whatever. This might be an altitude restriction. This might also be a lateral restriction where say you can have any altitude you wish, but you should anchor at IP whatever. And if these IPs, so the A10s have it easy, they have those nav points in the database. If you're an airframe where you have no map or nothing on board, you don't know where the IP such and such is, it's your job to ask the JTAG, and he'll provide you either visual talk or no coordinates. And oftentimes the JTAG will in his briefing give a ROC, which is a restricted operating zones. So under no circumstances are you to enter the ROC before you get your traffic airspace update and your holding point assigned. This is important. All right, next slide, which should be the CAS check-in brief. So this is something that I've seen oftentimes, that flights come in. Warriors, Spectre 1-1, it's a 2-ship we are holding at, our ordnance is this, and our capabilities is this. Don't do this. Again, wait for the JTAG to tell you to push your check-in, because this takes time, and there might be another flight already being in hot waiting for the clearance call. So you really disrupt the flow if you push your check-in without the JTAG being ready for it. So what is the CAS check-in? It's your call sign and which aircraft. So Warrior, the Spectre 1-1, your 2-ship F-14, and you give your mission number. The mission number you derive from the actual event page. So make a note. It should be labeled TR, Tango Romeo, and then 4 letters or so. This is something you give in your CAS check-in. Number and type of aircraft, so as I just said, 2-ship Tomcat. Then you give a rough estimate where you are at which altitude. Spectre holding IP Golf 1, flight level 200. After that, you give your ordnance and your time on station as a estimate, so the JTAG knows what you're capable of in terms of loadout and how long he can use you. This is also important because he will, of course, then use the Hornets, for example, which might have a lesser playtime. Use the Hornets first when they need to RTB or refuel, then use the A10s, for example. Abort code is optional to give a code. What I usually do is I say abort in the clear. What that means is if a JTAG comes back with abort, 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 that means I abort my attack. Of course, an enemy could yell over the radio, abort, abort, abort. That's why it's optional to give an actual abort code. You can use either the RAMROD or the authentication For example, if I use the RAMROD, if I say abort code is, and I forgot to say the RAMROD on the authentication slide to explain that. So when the current RAMROD is lumberjack and I say abort is Lima Mike, then it would be the letter between Lima and Mike, so it would be uniform, for example. So then the JTAG would have to say abort, 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 uniform, so you know it's a correct abort code.
And is it always the first pairing of letters from the RAMROD?
No. It can be any letters where there's
Pre-briefed?
one letter in between.
Okay.
No. The only thing which is pre-briefed is the actual RAMROD word. So I know the word. When you say Mike Echo, I know that the answer is Bravo.
Okay, but if you're telling me to abort, and you say
I will
abort,
give
say
you-
that during the check-in.
I would say abort. So when you check in, then you give me 2 letters in the RAMROD that frame the one letter that you want to hear in the abort code.
right, I understand, thank you.
All right.
Okay, can I clarify that again? Are you saying the abort
Please.
code is lumberjack,
Yes.
or abort code is the RAMROD of the day? That would be the words.
It's the
missing in
RAMROD
that.
of the day, and what he's saying is
the
when
RAMROD
you
of the
check
day.
in, you give him the letters that bracket the letter you want back as your
Yeah.
abort code.
Got it.
You wouldn't say the word obviously in the check-in. That's top secret.
The abort code is lumberjack.
Yeah. Or say the whole word as a abort code is lumberjack, for example, or use RAMROD as abort code is not good idea.
No. So when you get an abort, followed by 2 letters, you know that the abort code is the solution of the RAMROD. If you get an abort code where the flight gives you 3 letters, then I'd obviously use the AET 100. And the JTAG will make a note during your CAS check-in. He's going to write that down, and he will write down the solution of the abort code. So if he needs to abort you, he'll just look at this, and abort you. What I've also done and seen many times is that the JTAG actually overrides that. So I have 4 flights to control. I don't fucking care about what they think about their abort code. This might now not a real life procedure. I simply override them, say negative abort is in the clear. Then you just abort when you hear abort. When during the check in the JTAG overrides you saying abort is in the clear. Might have his reason, then you just abort. It's always safer to abort than not abort.
Can I ask a question before you carry on?
Please. Yes.
Let's say we dropped already. We're lasering a target and we get the abort. What do? Just leave the laser somewhere else?
Yeah. Yeah, of course. Yeah. That's the only thing you can do, right?
Yeah.
Or the next best thing you can do. Yeah. With a GPU drop, that would actually work, probably. All right. So we have the traffic airspace update, we have the CAS check-in. I was at the abort code, and then what you give in the remarks is your capabilities. So the A10s or the F14 would give a lantern, a saddle for the A10s. So basically you give your sensor capability so the JTAG knows how to use you. I never worked with F18s. So the A10s would say equip TGP, laser, then you give also the laser code 1784, for example, whatever. And saddle equipped TGP laser. Tomcat would say lantern equipped, and that's it, and laser. All right. Okay. So traffic airspace update, CAS check-in, and then next slide is the AO update. Now this is something where you don't have to pay super close attention because this is information that you will be given, and the JTAG will paint a picture. So my advice would be to not write this down, but instead really close your eyes, listen to it, and try to paint a mental picture when the JTAG tries to describe the actual scenario. So for example, Spectre 1-1, Warrior, AO update as follows. And then I'd say, okay, we have friendly troops in a village. We are currently, we have spotted hostile armor to the north of this village, about 2 clicks away. we expect them to stage an attack, and we need you to soften up the targets. Friendlies are in the village, hostiles are 2 clicks north on a road. Then the pilot should have this picture in his head, okay? Get all sorts of information. Important is where the friendlies are, and you make sure you understand where the friendlies are, even though you later on get a precise control anyway, but you should, in your picture, know where the friendlies are, where the bad guys are. If artillery is active, what the weather is,
User in your channel
the
timed out.
JTAG will state who has the clearance authority. So there might be several JTAGs or a FAC-A and a JTAG, so this might be split up. And any restrictions. For example, he might from the beginning paint the picture saying all attacks along a north-south axis, because in the previous scenario, for example, the JTAG wants to have all attacks parallel to the friendly line of troops. So because the pilot can left-right can control quite precisely, but firing long or short is rather common. So you get this picture, and usually in the end there might be a call ready remarks and restrictions. So after giving this picture, this is not for you to read back. Okay, so I tell you the story, I paint you the picture, and then I end up by saying call ready remarks and restrictions. And then this is for you the signal to listen up, because the remarks and restrictions, so the restriction, here's the code word, is for you to read back. For example, restriction might be minimize any damage on civilian buildings. And this is for you to read back. All right. Good. So you read back the restrictions, and then we can actually start with the first attack. And the actual next item, which is item 9, the CAS brief, is divided in 2 parts. It's the game plan. This is what you get, and then you get the actual 9 line. So the game plan usually consists of this information. This is a type 1, 2, or 3 control. You either have bomb on target or bomb on coordinates, and usually a request on a weapon. For example, Spectre 1-1 Warrior, this is a type 2 control, bomb on target, request GBU-12. So you already know, okay, so okay, let's get ready for a laser-guided bomb drop. I go briefly through the 3 types of controls. The type 1 control is the one which is most restrictive, and the criteria is that the JTAG needs to visually see the attacking aircraft and the target. So this is typical, for example, for a gun run or for a unguided weapon delivery where the friendlies are quite close by. So what happens is he gives you type 1, he looks at the hostiles, and he's looking out for you, and when you come in, when you finish your turn and you're in hot with your final clearance, then you stop your turn, he sees your wings, and he sees where the nose of the aircraft is pointing. And he uses this information to decide that the attack is safe or not. So this is the way I understand it, a type of control that is rarely used by FAC-As, because they might have big trouble seeing the attacking aircraft. And this will never be used, for example, in a GBU-12 delivery, because I can just come in at the correct angle with the GBU-12 and then still have the laser point at the wrong target. Okay, so this would be a classical guns, unguided rockets, and unguided ordnance in general. This is the most restrictive type of control. I would only use it if I have to. The most standard type of control would be the type 2. There the JTAG does not necessarily need to see the target. Excuse me. Does not need to see the target or the aircraft. He should know where the target is quite precisely. He should know where the friendlies are, and he might give you a talk on using coordinates, whatever, and he gives you usually a restriction on the final attack heading, and then he just trusts you that you basically come in at this heading when you come in with your clearance request. So this is the typical thing, and each attack will be 1 control. So for each attack you'll report in with final heading, and then he'll give you a clear dot, and then and only then you're allowed to actually release your weapons. The type 3 is pretty much the same thing, but this is a clearance for multiple attacks. Example, I'm at JTAC, and I know west of the village where I'm located, there is a bunch of artillery. I don't fucking care what direction you come in. This artillery is far enough away. I simply give you a time. You have 10 minutes to clear all the artillery you see at precisely this location. You're cleared to engage. And then you do your thing until the time is over or until the targets are destroyed and you call back. And we'll go into an example in a minute. So, yeah.
May I just drop 2 small comments?
Please.
Oh, right. First of all, for type 1, it's not uncommon that you'll get a request for flare on tip-in because it's going to make it easier for the JTAG to see you when you tip in. The second one is your final attack headings. We've seen that a few times. Your final attack heading is your final attack heading. It's when you are on final, not when you say, okay, I'm going to tip in. It's going to be about 90 degrees. I'm doing a north run, so I'm probably going to tip in on 090. It's when you actually tip in.
That's completely correct. So do call. So the flow would be, and I just wanted to go through this, the flow would be Spectre 1 Warrior, call ready game plan, Spectre conspect, ready game plan. This will be a type 1 control, bomb on target, use guns. Then you get your 9 line, and then you get your remark with a final heading, and then you tip in, then before you fire, okay, you say Spectre 1 on in hot heading, such as that, and that's exactly what Hans just said. You call this only when you are wings level, when you stop turning, so I can see you, since it's a type 1, I want to see you, and I want to see where nose is pointing. And only after you finished your turn, you call your heading. If I'm happy with this heading, Spectre 1 cleared hot, then you can fire, not before. This will probably go wrong several times tonight, and in all those times, until you hear this perfect cleared hot call, you need to abort the attack and reset up again. All right. So that was the game plan. And then the actual CAS brief. Let's go to the next slide. This is now the CAS brief, the 9-line part of the CAS brief. So this is what I said before. CAS brief alpha as follows: type 2 control, bomb on coordinate, request GB12, and I usually always say call ready 9-line. So I don't start giving you this line until your RIO is ready to receive. You don't give the numbers. You usually also don't give the units. You simply go 1, 2, 3, and so on. So you just go from top to bottom. So Spectre 1, this is Warrior. Type 2 in effect. 1, 2, 3 is a informational call. So this is from where you are, and your target roughly is heading and distance. This is for USA. This is mostly used, as far as I understand, for helicopters, for example. What you often hear is 1, 2, 3 in A. I don't care where you are, and I don't care to measure now the heading and distance, because we'll agree on a target and you don't need that information. So if you hear 1, 2, 3 NA, don't worry about it. If you get 1, 2, and 3, this is just for you to, in your mind or in your head, make sure, okay, yes, correct, I'm holding west of the target. I know that I'm holding west of the target, and I'm roughly 20 nautical miles out. So usually then he would say from the overhead, from your position, from IP Golf 01, whatever, 09 04 15. You know, okay, that makes sense. So the target is 15 miles, roughly 15 miles east of my position. All right, so 1, 2, 3 NA. Number 4 is mandatory. You get a number which is feet MSL. That is the elevation of your target. Number 5, you get a description of your target, Shilka in the open, BMP along a road or on a road. And then you get a location. The location usually is a lat long coordinates. It might also be location by talk on. You might also get an echo point, which is a briefed coordinate that you be given during the AO update. Line 6 could be at echo or north of echo by talk on, something like this. Type 7 mark, if there is a mark, else you say no mark. And then important is the friendlies. Where from the target are the friendlies? Not from your position, but from the target. And 4, 6, and 8, you'll always get a readback 4, 6, 8. This is a those 3 are mandatory readback. So you read back the elevation, you read back the location. This is just to make sure that you don't, write down the wrong coordinates, and you read back the friendlies. And then you get an egress instruction. Egress west back to the holding, back to the IP, something like that. So after you give these 9 lines, there is a call ready restrictions again. If there are restrictions, final attack heading 090 plus minus 30, for example. This is also for you to read back. So usually you read back 468 and the restrictions. Questions?
So many.
Yeah, but you'll see, we will take this slow, and we'll do this slowly, and just write down basically the 9 line and then read back from that. But if you want to speed it up, then you use the 1, 2, 3. If you even get 1, 2, 3, just cross-reference in your mind if this makes sense. Read back for sure 4 and 6, which is elevation and location. The description you don't have to read back, but you'll know it's a Shilka, whatever. You'll have that in your mind. And the most important thing for me is then where are the friendlies, and this should give you a picture of the actual attack.
Entropy question.
Go.
Based on the fact you've given us a contact point, and
yes.
We've not heard anything about any hasty IPs, does that mean we're going to be using those contact points as holding points, or are you going to give us something?
This, I think I'll have a slide for this. Hold that thought for a second. All right. Okay. So far, in this CAS brief, no reference point must be given that has not been given beforehand in the AO update. So if I reference a echo point or whatever in this CAS brief, then you have the echo point already on board because you have given it and had to read it back on the AO update. Let's go to the next slide. So after the CAS brief has been transmitted and the readback items had been read back, what you do then is the next point on the number 10 item is, I don't have a slide for it, is the actual target talk on. So even though you have coordinates, the JTAG usually will verify the target with you. For example, you got coordinates, you slew your lantern to these coordinates. Item 5 was a Shilka, so you now look at your TGP and in fact you see a Shilka. You can clearly see the 4 barrels. You would say capture, since capture is a code word for when you have it on the sensors, capture Shilka. Don't say that. Say capture Shilka next to a road or between 5 trees or next to a 3-story building. Give back something directly to the JTAG that the JTAG can use to verify the target with you. So you verify the target based on a description on top of the coordinates that you have been given, if that makes sense. This can be a completely visual talk on, or this can be a talk on using sensors. And we'll practice this. I don't have a slide for it. So target talk on and target verification. This is basically a dialogue between you and the JTAG so that you both agree on the correct target. And this is the one thing that you can fuck up, basically, that you tag the wrong target. Okay, next slide. Final attack instructions. So you guys just, you gave me some info. The Shilka is next to a 2-story building with a pink roof. And I go back to you, this is your target call ready remarks. Okay. When you're ready, you send it. I go final attack heading 090 plus minus 20, call leaving IP. This means you just let me know when you actually leave your holding point and start your attack. You read the restriction back, 090 plus minus 20, leaving IP. And you usually get a continue. Continue is just basically for you to know, so yeah, fine, I got it, carry on. You might get several continue calls. Now we come what Hans said, call, request 1 flare or whatever. You flare, continue, and then when I see you, when you stopped your turn and are in, your nose is pointing towards the target, warrior spectre on 1, in hot, heading is, and then you call your heading. And if I'm happy with that, I give you a cleared hot. So you fire your weapon only if you get this cleared hot call. That's basically the main thing here. I need to speed up a bit. I'm already over my time. All right, question on the final attack instruction? No. Good.
Only one small point, which I don't think was mentioned, so I'll just say it is a cleared hot call is a mandatory readback.
I don't think it is a mandatory readback.
No, you can go in without saying cleared hot?
Yes.
I think it is mandatory.
I'm pretty sure
it's
not.
Not a readback item.
Okay.
All right. Good. So next slide, Keyhole Hasty IPs. This is something probably that Mike was asking. What we usually do is we give this echo point. Echo point is never a friendly location. It can be, but must not be a target location. This is the center of the AO, in a way, a common reference point. And you relay this echo point during the AO update, or even on the pre-briefed thing, on the pre-brief information. And if you want to establish points, for example, holding points for aircraft in relation to the echo, this is a keyhole or hasty IP. So let's say I gave you coordinates for echo, you know where echo is, and then alpha is north, bravo is east, and so on. Charlie is south, and delta is west. Hold Charlie 20, that means from the echo point that you already have on board, I want you to hold south 20 nautical miles. And of course, you're a fixed-wing aircraft, quite fast. You don't need to be super precise, 20 nautical miles. But what I usually do is I try not to be closer than 20, so it's 20 or more. All right? It can also be given as a offset, echo 24048. So it could be then a offset point from echo. Question? Okay. I want to conclude with the standard marking brevity terms. Visual is when you see friendly. Contact is a reference point. We can use this as a talk on. Look for a 3-story building with a smoking chimney north of the village. Contact building. From this, go whatever, 500 meters east. There is a group of trees, contact group of trees. So you can build your talk on by using different contact points. Capture is when you see a target or object in your sensors. And tally is like capture, but when you see it actually by eyes. So visual for friendlies, tally for target, and capture for the target and the TGP. That's the ones we're probably going to use tonight. And I want to conclude with a laser thing that many times people get wrong, and we often leads to confusion. Let's say we do a body lasing, you drop a GBU 12, and I'm supposed to be the JTAC who's lasing, okay? When you drop, you say pickle off to the south or whatever, and then there is this 10 seconds call. This is what people oftentimes mix up. This is a heads-up call for the lasing agency that you expect them to start lasing in 10 seconds from now. Okay? This is not 10 seconds to impact or anything like that. So you don't also have to use it. The one thing that you use will be laser on. When you say laser on, then I start lasing, not before that. Okay? 10 seconds, all right, heads up, I wait, laser on. And then the lasing guy would come back, B-Swan lasing 1579er. And that's all we need. The rest is then for the 810s, really, for laser spot search and stuff that we're not going to use for the Tomcats to it. So I don't want to go into detail.
The Hornets coming, that might do LSS.
Right. Okay, true. Yeah, the Hornets can. So we do... there is, I'll say it very briefly, so there is the command stare. That means I give you a point with a laser, I say stare, and then the laser code, stare 1678. I know your laser code, you gave it to me during the check-in. And when you have the target acquired, you say spot. And what we do in the A10s, we read back this might not be official SOP, but that's what we do. We read back then the TGP elevation of that target. This also gives a good indication that it's correct or not. And that's, I think, what you need to know. So when I say stare and then give you laser line, and I usually give you also a direction where you should be looking, so else it takes forever. I have not worked with the Hornets. I don't know how their laser spot search works. It's probably similar to the A10s.
It is the same, very same.
Okay, cool. Yeah, good. So just listen for the code word stare, and that means you initiate your laser spot search. And then I say lasing such and such. And when you find your spot, you say spot, and then in the A10 you would make a mark point, read back the elevation from the TGP. That's a very convenient way of assigning targets. I used now 12 minutes more than I planned. So we can simply shift all volt times by plus 15. Would that work for everyone?
Yeah, firm.
All right.
Okay.
Let me go through the time plan. So 1800. So I wanted to give a just 5 minutes package brief. The package brief would just be go through the what I wrote in the event description. So we have range 1. This is CAS for those who pretty much have not done it before. This will be with me. I'll be flying an A10 as Beast 2-1, and I will get as customers Spectre 1 and Venom 8. I think Venom has done it before, even better. So a Spectre 1 and Venom 8 go check in with Beast 2-1 on range 1. Then we'll have Claw 3, also a 10 FAC A Professor. He will work with Knight 2 and Jedi 4. Knight 2, Evil has done, of course, he's the CAS qualified, so the more experienced guys go with Professor and Junior. Junior will have 3 flights. He'll be FAC-Aing an AKA 50 at range 11. The original plan was for the range 11 and range 2A guys to be shuttled between Claw and Junior, but this might be optional and too much chaos for this reason. But if you want to do this, I wanted to have a NOTAM for this training that we basically end the TMA at flight level 100, so you can freely commute between range 11 and range 2A as long as you're above flight level 100, and all flights landing and departing will be below 100. So then we basically are deconflicted by this, since we don't have ATC.
Question.
Yes, sir.
Just you just said Evil is experienced. I believe I'm wingman for Spectre and flying with you, right? Well, on Spectre's wing.
Yeah, I meant to say level. Level is
okay,
right. He did it several times in the A10. So
mostly the same letters, so I understand.
Yep. Yes.
Now, I have not done this before, and you have put me with the big boys.
What flight are you?
Arson 6.
He's with us in range 11.
Yes, okay. Arson is, you are with, what we could do then, if this doesn't really fuck up your plans, we could do Arson together with Spectre, with Beast, and Venom, since Venom is already, I think, done it. Venom works on with Dragon instead. Would that work for Venom and Arson?
I've kneeboarded it out for range 11 with Dragon. If Junior's happy to have me, I will try my hardest to fuck his life up.
Then let's stick with the plan, so we don't need to rearrange anything when kneeboard pages are already set. Let's stick with the plan, and if we'll see how it goes.
Hi guys.
Hey.
Hey, Looney.
Hey, Looney.
He lives. Hey, welcome back. How are you doing?
Hey.
Hey.
Good luck, everyone.
Oh, man.
I could, in theory, also occupy a JTAG slot if people don't get the training they want out of it.
I mean, you could work with Arson 6 then, if you wanted to.
Yeah, I just need to pick a range.
So, just to be clear, Jedi is still supposed to be on 2 Alpha?
We stick everything, let's not change that now. Let's keep everything as it is. The only the only difference is Arson 6, you can start out with Junior. Maybe Looney, you go to range 11 and help Junior. And if that is not a good idea, Looney just takes Arson 6 on any other range. Let me see what is available. Any of the ranges number 4 should be available. But this is a bit late now to ready. Yeah. I mean, Looney, happy to have you back, but it's now a bit late to change the game plan. So I'd suggest just stick with it, and you either grab Arson, so Ashilta, and you guys do your own thing, or we stick with the plan. It's your call.
If Looney makes up his range, we can divert one flight from my flights, like push it for a request. If you can submit that request through Entropy or through Professor, because I'll be low, then probably you won't reach me, but I can push one flight to you if you want that. Just make sure you pass frequencies and contact point for the flight.
Yeah, it shouldn't be a problem. We have SRS and it doesn't have LOS for ground units. Should be okay.
Alright, then you do this directly with Junior.
Yep.
Alright, Pike's had question?
Yeah, is there anything that you want the pilots to be speaking on in terms of comms between Rio and front, as in crew? Because we've got weapon release, remember? So, for example, any of the things you'd expect to come from the pilot rather than the Rio.
No, I don't care. I treat you as one flight. I don't care who's replying.
Okay, and second question is there any normal way that we should be splitting up the tasks between the wingman and the leader, because we've got 2 planes and you've got 1 task?
Yes. It should be so that the wingman flies cover. I would go into this right away. The wingman always flies cover for the engaged aircraft. You can then switch. You can give your wingman lead for the next attack, and then you support him.
Got it. We'll swap around. Thanks.
All right. Then I suggest let's get rolling. All volt times pushed plus 15. And then we're back in time. What was on the list? All right, that was so theory brief done, package brief done, and step time would be basically more or less now. So see you guys later.
Cheers, and nice
briefing.
Cheers.
Could you have a briefing with range 11?
Pikes, do you want a quick brief?
User left your channel. User
range 11, let's go brief. Briefing 3.
User left your channel. User left your
Thumper,
channel.
do you want to brief?
User left your channel. User left your
Yeah,
channel.
let's do it. Follow me. Okay.
Follow Pikes.
User left your
Let's
channel.
go.
Channel switched.
Hello.
Hi there.
So I've never done CAS before, so I'm in your hands basically. But apparently, what's it called? Oh, come on! Entropy said you are very, you're a pro on this, so we're good.
No, I'm not, but I have done it a few times. So, I mean, we're gonna circle around wherever he stacks us, and then when he give us the 9-liner, I mean, we try to locate the target, and I guess I don't know how the LANTIRN works in the F-14, so I hope you know how to find the target with it.
So the easiest solution is actually creating a waypoint over the target area, on the target position itself, and I use the pod exactly there on the position, and that's pretty much it, and then you adjust from there. The LANTIRN has its own GPS, so it shouldn't be affected by any INS drift or something going on.
Perfect. But then I said, I don't know if it's okay if you take the readback of 0.46 and 8, because otherwise you have to repeat it for me. We can do it other way, but
well, probably the run that we do will be a bit messy, but then we can see how it goes. I can try to do the all 9-line myself. I have paper. I mean, my hands are free, so it's easier for me to take notes and whatever is needed. Rather than you're flying.
Your channel.
Hello, sir.
Hello.
So
I just wanted to let you know that you can check in any time you like, so you don't need to keep your full time in I.
Okay, copy.
Any questions towards me?
Well, this is the first time ever that I do any 9-line CAS briefing, so I'll try to not mess up too much.
Yeah, sure. And if you have any questions during the CAS training, just ask me.
Well, it should be fine. We're just sorting out, for example, who has to speak. For example, because I control the LANTIRN, so it's easier for me to actually slew around the LANTIRN and do this kind of stuff rather than the pilot. But on the other hand, I haven't never done it, so we will do some. We will see. It's not too complicated, just something new.
Roger. Okay, then see you later.
Yeah, see you
later.
User left your channel.
Yeah, so more or less we just take off and we're gonna contact him over. I think was it the east?
Some contact point should be Yukutaisi, the east. I have the lat long coordinates, so I'm gonna create a waypoint there. And I'm gonna create a waypoint for the echo point, another one for the position where we are supposed to hold, and then the target, of course, the lat long coordinates of the target, because I need them for the pod.
Yeah, and then those coordinates you're gonna get through the 9-liner. So
yeah, I'm gonna punch them through directly.
Yeah.
Probably.
But just let me know if you want me to take the 9-liner and so forth. If you want me to do it the first time, it's just that I'm gonna have to ask you for the coordinates because I'm probably not gonna remember them in my head. But otherwise, it's no problem. You read back the elevation of the target.
User left your channel.
Yeah, makes sense.
Channel switched.
You ran away.
No, sorry, I managed to push a button on my keyboard. Sorry.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, first one you can do it. I can do the readbacks. Because of course I can take notes. So yeah, we can do that maybe for the first time. Do you remember the laser code 1561? Is that correct? Because I think we decided 1561, but I'm trying to remember by heart.
Yeah, 1561. I have it on my kneeboard, so. And you're gonna need the mission number. Tango Romeo.
Yeah, 4716. Yeah. I took a lot of notes while we were waiting. We're actually doing the briefing itself.
Okay, yeah. Let's jump down to pit. We're gonna be there. He wants us to be there in what is it? Half an hour, -3 minutes. There is no rush.
Copy. Catch you in copy. You're not on the server already? No, I don't see you.
No.
Well, I'm gonna take some water then.
Yeah.
Catch you later.
See you.
Microphone muted. Channel switched.
Hello, sir. ICS check.
See. Hello, Radio Lima Chow.
Nice. Alright, let's start.
Good.
I was thinking, if you want, you can take a couple of more bombs for the instead of the Sparrow, but I think it's a bit like overkill because it's not just us on the that specific target area. So.
Yeah, I was more thinking about rockets actually.
You can take them. Yeah, definitely. If you want them. So you have some fun. You have some fun as you have some fun as well. I can't speak today.
Copy. How many rockets are that in that pod?
I think you can mount 2 Zunis there. Let me have a look.
Yeah, I just put them in.
Okay, INS is aligning and gonna check the ETs.
000 hectopascal. QFE 2937 or 995. End information Bravo. This is Kutaisi information Bravo. Runway in use is 08. Wind 041 at 3 knots. Visibility 43. Cloud conditions scattered 65. Temperature 22.7 Celsius. Altimeter 2953. Traffic frequency 134.2. Remarks 1000 hectopascal. QFE 2937 or 995. End information Bravo.
Okay, should be fine. Altimeter is 2953.
So from the looks of it, we have 4 rockets on each pod.
2-1. Single ship 810, echo information aboard, QH 2953.
No, we have 2 pods, total of 8 rockets.
8.
Yeah, copy.
So we have 4 GBUs, 12, 8 rockets, the LANTIRN and 2 Sidewinder with allow 138 for the countermeasures.
Yeah, copy. I sometimes have some problem with my button for the intercom.
Well, it can be as bad as Pikes. But is like a force contact or something? So our contact point is Ugko East. Is different from all the... Now, Hotel 2 is the holding point, isn't it? And then the contact point would be our waypoint 1. I'm creating the flight plan.
Yeah, and that's more or less once we have taken off, we're gonna contact him, and hopefully, I don't know if he's on the ground, he might not hear us, but we try to climb and contact him.
Yeah, flight level for the contact point should be 100.
2-1, holding short Alpha, lining up runway 08 now.
Yeah, we see how it goes.
So weapon 1 contact point, waypoint 2
Beast
holding.
2-1, takeoff runway 0.
Service target.
You still there? Is it you who?
Yeah, no.
Capacitor Beast 2-1, gear up, laps up, right turn out towards
Yeah, we're
west.
just pushing the setting all the waypoints up. Okay, there's something that is not really... Anyway, 1 should be the exit east. 2, if you look at the TID repeater, you have a look. Waypoint 2 is the holding point, and the surface target, the diamond basically, with the diagonals in the middle, that's the echo point. So later what I'll do is just moving the whole thing
Axon 1, com check Kutaisi Tower.
here, zoom it up, and we have a decent view of the area.
Yeah, copy. There seems to be something wrong, and I don't understand why. I can't get my wings up. Yeah, maybe because I haven't reset the...
Yeah, wings. Cruising the canopy.
Kutaisi Tower, Axon 1, taxiing via November Alpha towards holding short runway 08.
Kutaisi Tower 921, radio check.
Axon 1 on Kutaisi Tower, line clear.
Copy.
Yes, sounds about right. So when you're ready, we can do the cross checks, and then we can taxi. Oh. Speaking of cross checks, I forgot the laser code. Thank God I put it in the cross checks.
Good. Do you need to do that?
Okay, laser code 1561 set.
Do you need to set that with wheels, weight on wheels, or?
Yeah, the pod no. I can change the pod anytime, but the bombs must be set on the ground. Okay, so oxygen. Reset oxygen.
How do you mean reset?
No, have you set the oxygen on? I'm doing the cross checks.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, oxygen is on.
Okay, ejection seat. I see yours is fine. Radio, the forward one, we don't have a wingman anyway, so should be fine anyway. Lights, per SOP.
Lights are on.
Wings folded. Yeah, they look folded. Yardstick, we don't need it. Check the warning panel if everything is clear.
Everything is clear.
I have oxygen is on, blah 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 blah. Radio 2 is on tower. TACAN is 44 X-ray at the moment. Payload and fuel, you check it already, isn't it? So we have the bombs and everything else. And warning panel clear. LANTIRN is to pod. And is almost ready already. And I think we can go.
Test tower Axon 1 lining up runway 0.
Copy.
So where are we? Usual ramp north. Huh? Bloody hell.
Let me check.
Yeah, I'm checking as well. Where are we?
Yeah, we're around now.
So runway will be 08, so we can taxi November Alpha, usual.
Copy.
I can...
Test tower Axon 1 taking off runway 08, pushing UGQ east, and then towards range 11 through south.
Taxi traffic, night 21, 1 time 14, Parker, ramp north of information Bravo, taxiing to active via November Alpha. Let's go.
Do you have some lag as well?
Yeah, I have low FPS as well. That's probably because we're on the ground at the moment. And I saw a couple of... I just checked the chat. A couple of people just connected. Probably just... that's the reason.
Copy.
Yeah, well...
Test tower someone
20 people
taking off
in the
runway
survey.
08, climbing to flight level 070
Yeah.
via UGQ east.
It's not much, but still. Something that I didn't set.
Since I can't switch to the JTAG frequency, you have to do it. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's fine. I mean, whatever works. Is 138.250 Coral 3, is that correct?
Yeah, AFIRM, but I was
Yeah.
just thinking I can't switch to that radio. I need to stay.
Yeah, no worries, no worries. So let's have a look at the last checks. Flaps on maneuver.
Yeah, shortly. I haven't. The wings are on way out.
Oh, sorry about
Tower
Flaps.
1 XTA UGQ east, pushing north towards IP Whiskey 1 range 11.
Flaps up.
that. Wings unfolded, and I see them. Trim is set.
A-firm?
Smash on, we can take the active.
Yeah, cool.
Fantastic Tower, Knight 2-1, holding short runway 0, taking active runway 0.
Okay, I'm running them up.
Copy, all set here.
Fantastic Tower, Knight 2-1, departure runway 08, climbing out, runway heading towards VP West.
And Keyhole traffic, Jedi 4 taxi November Alpha, holding point 08.
We are quite heavy.
Yeah, we are. I mean, not. We still have a lot of available space technically, a lot of weight, additional weight that we can carry, but still we are not light at all. We are not light at all. Okay, waypoint is set already, so be the exit east, so that will be the contact point as well.
Yeah, copy. So once we head there, just switch to the
Stage ground, Minty 4, single ship A10, Charlie Park, November 17, taxiing
because you can push
Whiskey,
Coralider.
holding short 08.
No, I can't, as far as I'm aware, I can't go under 200.
Yeah, because your ultra high frequency, mine instead is a very high and ultra high frequency, that's why. Yeah, I'm thinking at the common frequency, we can push, I don't know, Darkstar or Magic or someone else in the front radio. Not sure.
Yeah, copy. Let's climb above the flight level 100 before we contact, and then you can swap frequencies. So I try to climb quite aggressively.
Yep. Cool. And probably can. There's not much to fancy in anyway because you're not doing it well.
No, we wait to fancy.
Okay. You need a couple of minutes for the missiles. Not needed this time again. And I need like 40 seconds a minute for the LANTIRN to warm up. So, just FYI. But we have all the time in the world.
Yeah, cool.
Tower, Knight 2-1, leaving your airspace. Solo.
Let's switch to control. Well, actually, I'm gonna switch directly to the AWACS.
Yes.
.13.250 set.
Copy. Do you want me to contact him?
Yeah, I never did it. It would be better for the first time, if you don't mind.
Copy.
This is Knight 2.1 over Hitasi East, flight level 150.
Okay, we try to climb a bit more, because I if he's on the ground, he's probably not gonna hear us.
Yeah, I'm afraid so. The echo point is at almost 6,000 feet, so I'm afraid he's hidden between the mountains.
Yeah, it could be. What's the waypoint? Is that Echo or IP Hotel?
IP Hotel. I already selected the waypoint, so it will be 80 miles, 160-ish.
Warrior, Knight 2-1.
Knight 2-1, this is Claw 3-1. Warrior is non-existent. I suspect you're calling me?
I thought we were about to contact Warrior. Is it Claw 3 we should work with?
Claw 3-1, I can confirm that Warrior is not part of the mission today.
Copy. So you are Professor?
Yes, sir.
Copy. Claw 3-1, Knight 2-1. 15 miles north of Point Echo at flight level 200.
Claw 3-1, copy. Knight 2, authenticate. Alpha, Golf, Zulu.
Knight comes back with Delta.
Okay, now you authenticate me.
Okay, copy. I thought we talked about that and we shouldn't do it, but authenticate Alpha, November, Delta.
Claw 3-1 comes back with Echo.
Agree back, Knight 2-1.
Knight 2, traffic and airspace update is as follows. Currently there are no other flights in the area. I am holding at Echo 4, flight level 140. Your flight level will be between 200 and 240. And you are cleared to push Echo 5.
Copy. Could you clarify Echo 5?
Good week back. And Knight, when ready, push your check-in.
Copy. But the question, could you clarify what's Echo 5? And I have as Knight flight level 200 to 240.
Readback was good.
Copy, but I don't understand Echo 5. What do you mean by
set
that?
up a wheel around Point Echo. Do not get closer to Point Echo than 5 nautical miles. How copy?
Copy. Not closer than 5 miles, Point Echo. And unfortunately, I am closer than. Do you have Point Echo now?
We are now we have Point Echo is 80 miles away, so we can orbit on this one. The point that I selected before was IP Hotel. So if you have a look at the HSD, don't get closer than 5. So we are at 7 miles at the moment. And flight level wise, we are good because we are between 200 and 240.
Yeah, copy that. And I'm gonna check in with him.
We're getting closer than 5 miles though. Turn cold if you can.
Whoops.
Right, for this is Claw 3. When ready, I am waiting for your CAS check-in.
Copy. Stand by. need to speed up a bit as well.
Yeah, no worries, take your time. Do you want me to reselect the IP hotel by any chance, so you can use that one and keep a constant distance from the IP hotel?
No, negative. I'm trying to extend a bit and then I'm gonna be in a right-hand orbit.
Copy.
And our mission number was Tango Romeo 4167?
4716.
4716.
And we have 2 times.
Copy. I tried to remember that. We'll see. How much playtime do we have?
This ratio, probably at least 90 minutes. Give you 90 minutes, no more than that. Should be fine.
Copy.
And we have 4 GBU12 for Zuni's. I don't know if he's interested in the Sidewinder. And we have LANTIRN and laser. Laser code is 1561.
Yeah, copy.
Floor 31, night 21. Checking in, 1 time F14. Mission number Tango Romeo 4716. We are at 14 miles north of Point Echo at flight level 210. We have 4 times GBU12 and 8 times rocket. We have LANTIRN pod and with laser code 1561. Playtime 90 minutes. Both code in the clear. How copy?
Jedi 2, Claw 3-1, solid copy.
Let's fence in maybe.
Jedi 2, Claw 3-1, forced QNH in effect. QNH is 2.9.53. And Corbin ready to receive the AO update.
That was for night, wasn't it? Oh, sorry, for Jedi.
No, I think it was for us because he's asking already for when we're ready for the AO update. So let's finish the fence in, no rush. So lights should be off.
Lights is off, master arm is on air to ground mode.
Copy. Then I'm gonna set up the GBUs. Oh, I can do them later, maybe. I can do them later.
Claw 31 and night 21. First QNH in effect, 2953.
Claw 3-1, good read back.
And night 21 is ready for A output.
Claw 3-1 copies. Confirm you have AO update Alpha on board.
A-firm.
Roger, then AO update Bravo is as follows. Identified threats 1 time Strela, 1 time Shilka. Targets are 2 times T-72, 2 times BRDM, and 2 times BTR. Still no intel on artillery. How copy?
Copies all. Night 21.
And night 21, are your missiles or your rockets guided or unguided?
Rockets are unguided.
Claw 3-1.
And Claw 3 Jedi 4 check-in.
Jedi 4, Claw 3, authenticate Alpha Foxtrot Jedi 4, are you ready to receive traffic in airspace update?
I have information Alpha and Bravo. Listened in, Jedi 4.
Roger, that was not the question. I was not asking about the AO update, but the traffic in airspace update.
Go ahead, Jedi 4.
Traffic is currently as follows.
I'm looking at the AO at the
holding
moment.
at flight level 140 at
point.
Echo 5. Flight 2 holding at Echo 5 at flight level 210. Your holding block is as fragged, flight level 160 and 190. You may push towards Echo 5.
As fragged, pushing Echo 5, Jedi 4.
Claw 3-1, and when ready, send your CAS checker, please.
And Claw 3, Jedi 4, Tango Romeo 4710, one-time FA-18 Charlie. At the moment, just north of Hotel 2, 2 times GBU 12, 2 times GBU 38, flight time 75 minutes. We got lightning pod and laser code 1621, Jedi 4.
Class 1 copies all. Confirm you have no air-to-ground missiles on board.
Negative, only bombs.
Affirm, and please advise on the board code.
I don't know. You choose.
Roger, then your board code is in the clear.
In the clear.
Jedi 4, Claw 3-1, call ready for CAS brief Alpha.
Go ahead, CAS brief Alpha.
Game plan is as follows. This will be a Type 2 bomb on target with GBU 38. Lines 1, 2, and 3 from Echo 5. Elevation 5835. Target is one-time Strela. Coordinates Northings 4150.558. Eastings 04251.754. No mark. Friendlies to the northeast 600 meters. Equals back to IP. Read back 4, 6, and 8.
Copies. Target elevation 5835. Location north 4150.558, east 04251.754. Friendlies northeast 600 meters, Jedi 4.
Good, read back. Call ready for remarks and restrictions.
How are you doing back there, and have you set up all the bombs? Or
go ahead.
Everything?
No, we can set up them if you want. I guess we start with the GBUs. I was just waiting, maybe we change, but I guess we start with the GBU. Definitely start with the GBU. I guess we want just one.
Jedi 4, make your final attack heading 150 plus minus 40.
Okay, from now on you have what?
Move for the restrictions.
Yeah, but it's actually the JTAC's going to decide what we're going to use. But,
Yeah, that's why I was waiting, but no big deal. It's fine.
Good feedback. Call leaving IP.
Cool. Jedi 4.
But since it's the beginning of the mission, I don't really think that he's gonna ask us for a Zuni.
And Claus here from Jedi 4. Any chance to get those the coordinates in hour, minute, seconds?
No, he's probably not going to do that. Are you able to get the heading cursor needle to move back there? Or?
What do you mean? For the HSD?
A-firm. Because that's a good tool. Once you want to get into the right heading, you set the course he give you, and it's easy to fly by. But I can't change mine.
No, that's what I do later is creating a waypoint exactly on the target location or close by, and then I can select the waypoint so you have the HSD set pointing you in that direction, and I can also slew the pod there. So I do both things at the same time. I'm gonna use the fixed point as the reference. Because the easiest way to use the lantern is exactly slewing it on the target, because we cannot pick up any other laser source.
Copy. And you want me to go off target to the right, correct?
It's up to you. Probably we can reset on the hotel, but depends when we the final attack heading, which one would be. That's the only question.
More thinking about if you want to keep lacing, you want me to go to the right, don't you?
Hold on. Where is the
so
8 1B, isn't it?
8B.
8B. Yeah, I always mess up. So it should be on the right. So basically, you have to keep it turn like this one. Can you look at the lantern at the moment?
Yeah, but I don't see it. I have it up on my screen, if the TV screen.
Do you see the rectangle that is moving at the moment? That's the position in the lantern. And the weird shape that you see is the masking. So your goal would be keeping that rectangle in the middle. Not in the middle, but at least in a position where it's inside this shape.
Yeah, copy.
So if you look at it right now, it's about to go out.
Yeah, it's above the bridge.
But for example, in this moment, no, it's actually okay in this moment. Then it depends how long it takes the bomb to get to the target, of course. At the moment, what I did is, if you look at the lantern on the bottom, it says air to ground, and on the bottom of it, it says QST. Q is means that is slewed on the ST, which is the first target waypoint. And I can quickly, for example, this is looking at the home base, this is Kutaisi. This is waypoint 1, this is hotel, and this is again the echo point. Make sense?
Absolutely.
So it's pretty easy if you think about it. You just create a waypoint there, slew the laser, adjust it a little bit, lock the target, and just fly over and release the bomb. That's pretty much it.
Copy.
And it also has a couple of very neat functions, which are this one. So this is now. This is now burst sighted, 12 o'clock basically. And let's say you see something, you can point the nose there and I can quickly lock it. And a similar function is this one, which is not 12 o'clock, same level, but it's looking like 20 degrees bottom. I don't remember at the moment how long. It's pretty neat. If you see something, you can point the nose and then I can quickly lock it. And then it's saved in the memory of the lantern, so we can readjust, go cold,
Right, 2, Class 1, Victor.
Go from that.
Right 2, if able, call me on CAS secondary frequency, Indigo 4.
Correct, stand by.
Would be
And
239
for
750.
Echo 5 inbound.
Class 1, continue.
Continue.
Should I switch to a different frequency or stay there?
You can stay. I'm just switching to 239 250.
If we're Indigo 4 239 750.
Copy 750.
Sure, 31, this is 921.
Class 31, Regional Lima Charlie.
Copy. Same.
Roger, call ready for CAS brief, Bravo.
Send it.
This will be type 2. Bomb on target, use GPU and target. Yep. IP is Bravo 5. Stand by for elevation. Elevation 5910. Target 1 times Shilka, stationary in the open. Coordinates Northings 4150 decimal 668. Eastings 04251 decimal 596. No mark. Friendlies northeast 500 meters. Egress back to Echo 5. Read back 4, 6 and 8.
Could you read?
Yeah, should I take it? Read back as follows. Elevation 5915. Location
And Jedi 4
Building
off target.
41506. Easting 042515. Friendlies northeast 500 meters.
Jedi, say again for Claw.
Jedi 4 off target, unsuccessful, heading up towards IP5. Echo 5.
Roger, did you give me your in-hot call? Or your tipping in call?
No, I just gave you the call that I was leaving, or IP5 inbound.
Roger, that is not sufficient for a Type 2. For a Type 2, you need to call to tip in, and then you call in hot with your heading. That is when you are on a good heading to drop off your ordnance. You call in hot, say a final attack heading, and then I will authorize you for your attack. And only then you are allowed to drop it.
I actually never came that far. That's why I called you back.
Okay, Roger. In that case, you are then conduct your re-attack. Call in hot with heading.
Okay.
Night 2, Class 3, sorry, I need your read back again.
Copy, no worries. Elevation 5915. Location 41506 north. Eastings 042515. Friendlies northeast 500 meters.
Good read back. And call ready for talk on.
Copy, call you back when ready for talk on. Okay, we need to reset because we have the masking it now. I selected the... I said that I copied and I call you back when we are ready for talk on. We are resetting now to Bravo 5 because our pod is masked at the moment. We have no visual of the target area.
Class 1, copy.
Okay, so Bravo will be on the right. Should I create a waypoint somewhere to give you an idea?
Give a waypoint on the target.
Copy. Yeah, he's on the target already. So if you look at the TID at the moment, he's in the north of the TID. The top of the TID is the north. So you need to go where I'm moving the mouse at the moment-ish. So that area would be Bravo 5. Let's go maybe Bravo 20, like something like that, so we can stay a bit farther away. Because I'm masked at the moment on the LANTIRN.
Copy. Coming around. Coming around.
0424-515-06. So meanwhile, GPU 12 is set, pylons are selected, laser is armed, and we should be ready.
Copy. Yeah, just let him know once we have captured the target.
Yep, definitely. The problem that we have is that we cannot ID anything farther than 10 miles away, something like that. And in real life, at 20,000 feet, the lantern literally blows up. So we should be like Angels 15, not 20 at the moment.
Okay, copy. I'm gonna descend at least down to 20,000.
Yeah, our limit, we are between 20 and 24, but I don't think he's aware of the limitations that we have.
Copy. Do you need me to turn somewhere to be able to capture the target, or are we masked through hills, or?
No, it should be pretty fine. Just be advised that you're going straight to Echo, and we should be on the east of Echo at the moment. So Bravo 5, like 5 miles to the east. So we did the target at 270 basically. So keep turning left.
Let me know when you want me to go wings level.
Well, depends on you. You have to go to the east of the target echo. Now we are 7 miles north of the target echo. So maybe let's set up in that area around Bravo 10, something like that. So east, 10 miles east of the area.
Do you want me to go even more east?
Well, technically the ingress point for us is Bravo 5, unless I mean, you are the expert, so I'm trying to because he called the IP Bravo 5.
Yeah, but I want. Do we have eyes on target, or do we have the target captured?
Not yet, but I'm pretty good now. So, but the problem is that I want to be set up already before go for the Torcon, in case something changes. Make sense?
Yeah, but if you have the lantern on the target, then we know where it is.
Yeah.
So you don't need to capture it later?
Yeah, makes sense, yeah. Okay, can you, if you see the lantern, can you keep the rectangle in the boundaries? Meanwhile, I'm gonna ask for the token.
Copy.
Cloud 3, Night 2, ready for token. I lost it, is masked.
Right to Cloud 3, tell me if you have your TGP on your target or on the coordinates, and then tell me what you see.
Copy. I have no contacts under the coordinates that you gave me. I see a bridge, I see buildings and a road coming from the bridge, and I see a river as well.
Roger that. Then token is as follows. Anchor point is the northern end of the bridge.
Contact the north end of the bridge.
Unit of measure is the length of the bridge.
Masking, I lost it. Copy, say again.
I'm trying to go the other way around.
Unit of measure is the length of the bridge.
Copy.
From the anchor point, go along the road
Standby.
Shape building.
Standby. The pod is masked. We are resetting. So I have an eel right in the middle of the line of sight at the moment. I'll take it easy. We are 17 miles from the echo point, so you can get much closer than that.
Yeah, copy. Gonna try and keep it stable now.
Yep. I have a cloud right in the middle, so as soon as the cloud goes away, I can carry on with the token. It's annoying because the clouds are not synchronized, so maybe you see through the lantern, I don't. It's kind of annoying.
Exactly.
Yeah, we should disable these clouds entirely until they fix them.
Yeah.
Well, I can't see anything, so can't do much about it. Now I have a heel in the middle. Yeah, we need to go somewhere
I see
else.
a lot of tree.
Yeah, because this
Which
doesn't need...
direction you want me?
Yeah, the problem is that we cannot really do much about it. We need to go somewhere else. We need to go to the north of the target area. Because there's this bloody hill in the middle.
Copy. Do you want me to go north then?
Yeah, I'm gonna tell him. Maybe reset again on the hotel. Would be better, probably. I'm gonna select the waypoint. So the weapon I selected now is Hotel 2. Claw 3, Night 2. Be advised, we have some issues here with the terrain masking. Can we reset to the north, to the hotel waypoint? Ingress point, not waypoint.
Roger that. You're at the north, you will probably also be masked. I recommend you are offsetting to the south. Try Charlie 5.
Copy, we're resetting to Charlie 5. Alright, all the way around. So, setting in the... so okay, 180 degrees.
Well, actually, just stay to the south of Point Echo, and distance is your own discretion.
Copy, south of Point Echo, distance at our discretion. Thank you. Alright, let's go south.
What waypoint do you have now?
Is the target area. So keep turning left, keep it at 180, and then you're good.
July 4, Claw 3 status.
Jedi 4, Claw 3, or Claw 3, Jedi 4 finally acquired the target. I am now IP5 inbound.
Claw 3, copy, continue.
Right,
continue, Jedi 4.
And I still have the eel in the middle.
Copy. We continue a bit further south then.
Okay, so I'm looking at the map at the moment with topography. There's a river that goes from north to south. If we stay the river area, then we should be fine. Because there, the point where we were exactly where the IST in the area was. So at the moment I'm still masked, but if we keep going this way, we should get better.
Copy. Do you have the target waypoint set now, or?
Yep, set.
Classic copies, continue.
Continue.
You said that from the north there was a chance to be masked, but we were on the north and I saw the target perfectly when we were there, so no idea.
Yeah, copy. I think I will do a right-hand turn and see if we get a better view.
Jedi for 30 seconds.
Coffee.
And Jedi
we're
4
still
hot.
totally masked here. We should get much closer to the AO.
Heading 180.
I mean, I don't see any other solution than actually orbiting on top of the carrier.
Yeah, copy. I don't think he wants us over the target area.
Not literally over, but if you look at the LANTIRN now, you see the massive hill right in the middle.
Yeah, I see trees.
Jedi 4 pickup.
Yeah, that's exactly the hill that is in the middle. Now I have clouds as well. So if you look down at our 2 o'clock, over those hills, probably the target area should be there. Is it? 351. No, disregard. The target area is 353 from our position, so on the left.
Copy.
I don't know. Between the clouds and everything else, I can't see anything.
Alright, copy.
Jedi 4 Class 3, I can confirm impact, even though that was not a target that I have given you. That's probably my bad. We should have conducted a talk on.
Okay, now I see something. Nice, perfect.
Yeah.
No, negative.
Try to
There's
keep
another
this
cloud.
heading.
Yeah, there's another cloud in the middle. Why do we even use clouds when they're not synchronized?
And Jedi 4, I couldn't use the coordinates you gave me because it's wrong format, so I just tried to find it.
Yeah, copy. I would have converted them for you if you would, after you have said it, and after you have said disregard, I did not convert them, so I could do this for you next time.
Okay, now is good. So if you keep this way, you do like a left-hand orbit, we should be okay.
You want me to go left?
Yeah, would be great. Because if you turn right, I'm gonna have the hill in the middle of again. If you go left, we should be able to finally do something, hopefully. Okay.
Claw 3 on uniform.
Cloud 3, go ahead. We just reset and found a place with no clouds and no terrain masking, so we're ready for Tokon. Fucking hell, another cloud.
Yeah, your target was just shagged by Jedi who had the wrong target. Confirm you are listening also on Victor?
Yeah, we're listening, we're monitoring the other frequency as well.
Roger. In that case, comms will now proceed on Victor again.
Copy, switching to the other frequency. Cloud 3, 921, checking on this frequency.
Claw 3-1 copies. Claw 3-1, I have game plan Alpha for you, since the other flight shagged the wrong target.
Yeah, no problem, go ahead.
This will be type 2 bomb on target with GBU. Line 1, 2, and 3, Alpha 5. Elevation, standby.
Okay, it's pretty good. If you can turn cold and keep this orbit, would be great,
Elevation
because I have an hill coming.
3, 5. Target is 1 times Strela, close to the forest. Coordinates, Northings 4, 1 degrees, 5, 0, decimal 560. Eastings 0, 4, 2 degrees, 5, 1, decimal 754. No mark, friendlies, northeast 600 meters. Egress back to Echo 5. Read back 4, 6, and 8.
Copy it back as follows.
I'm gonna do
elevation
100.
5935. Location 41505 north. Eastings 042517. Friendly is northeast 600 meters. Yeah, I'm back in the clouds now.
Except for the elevation, this is 5835.
Yeah, copy. I'm going around, so I'm gonna
copy
go.
Elevation 5835.
Good readback, and call when you have capture on Point Echo for Talker.
I'm gonna level out at
we are 70 miles.
180.
Yeah, we are too far away from the.
And Jedi 4 anchored north of Echo.
Because now I have the eel in the middle.
12-3, copy that, and Jedi 4, call me.
It's not a great area for this CAS test.
Secondary.
Okay. We are.
But you see the smoke to the left?
No, I have a cloud in the middle. Oh, lag.
Oh my god.
Now I'm back. No, I have an heel in the middle at the moment.
Cloud 3 on uniform, loud and clear.
Loud and clear.
Okay, I see the smoke to the left.
Correction.
Yeah, I see the smoke now. I have a cloud before.
Charlie.
But the problem is the heel that you see here. You should keep a look at the lantern. Whenever you see that there's an heel coming, you just turn somewhere else.
Ordnance is your discretion. Lines 1, 2, 3, Alpha 5. Elevation 5844. Correction, my bad. Elevation 5810. Standby issues here.
42517. Right.
I say again, line 4, elevation 5852. Target
clouds in the middle, so I see nothing again.
APC close to the river, halfway masked by some trees.
I'm about to be very pissed off.
Yeah.
Okay, turn cold.
4150 and
So I turn towards the target area. I have the middle, the heel in the middle now.
10 seconds.
Actually, it's good. I have an heel incoming, so keep like 3-4 miles this way, and then we have to turn the other way around.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, at this point I don't really care if we fly over Echo. I mean, let's just get on with it because.
Target marked by smoke.
If the goal is practicing something, no, we haven't done anything yet.
Northeast, 400 meters. Return back to Echo 5. Read back 4, 6, and 8.
Elevation 5852. North 415010. East 0425111.
Because I have an eel approaching. Yep.
Friendlies northeast 400 meters. How read?
Good readback, standby.
Just gonna keep the echo point to our north. So.
Yep. So I have a big cloud in the middle again. As soon as we're below the cloud, fully I can see something. Turn left, maybe 30 degrees.
So your TGP to the coordinates and tell me what you see.
Okay.
Now it's perfect.
I see a stretched building going north to south, and behind those a tree line, and then.
So our target is
APCs
probably the
standing.
little thing on the left of the pointer at the moment.
Roger that,
so
and
probably
tell
our
me
target is this one.
the orientation of those APCs.
Okay, copy.
I think it's this one.
I would guess about heading 150.
And we can't even see what it is, can we?
No, that's why I wrote in the 23rd channel that we cannot ID anything farther than 7 miles. Because the optical zoom is not
Copy.
it's not hardware thing. It's like opening Microsoft Paint and just zooming in.
Question. For class 3, in relation to the river, what is the how the APCs oriented?
The coordinates that it's giving us is probably probably wrong.
Or parallel or whatever?
Because I'm looking at the woods at the moment.
To me, they look like they're parallel to the river.
Copy. It could be that our coordinates is quite rough.
It's DMM.
Good capture, there will be no mark, except
fairly precise.
when you need it, and I can give you something.
Yeah.
Restrictions are final attack heading, again 150 plus minus 40. Read back.
Final attack heading 150 plus minus 40.
Because I have an eel approach as you see in the lantern now.
Good, read back.
On the other side.
Which side do you want to
attack?
Class 3 status.
We're still looking for a position when there is no terrain masking or clouds obstructing our sensors.
Roger, if the clouds are an issue or if the terrain is an issue, then tell me simply what elevation and what offset from Point Echo you want.
Copy. We probably find the spot here at the moment, and we should be pretty okay in the next 10 seconds.
Roger.
Yeah, we just have to clear the hill from the middle, and then I'm good.
Yeah, copy.
Then keep the engine at the lowest rate possible, yeah, so we don't move too much from this area. And keep an eye on the lantern. Whenever you see that the hill is coming, just turn around.
Question to that.
Yeah, I just want to not go over the target, so I'm gonna level out soon.
Yeah, it's kind of a shitty situation because you don't see the clouds, you see them, so you cannot dodge them.
Class 3 copies.
Exactly.
For your attack, call leaving IP.
And he's on the radio with the other one, so we don't get the slot.
Kilo 3, Night 2-1, we are ready for Tokon.
Roger that, please push CAS secondary.
The other frequency, yours, isn't it?
Yeah, that should be correct.
Kilo 3, Night 2-1.
Night 2-1, Class 3-1. Do you have capture on Point Echo?
Oops, we're ready. Yes, I have. He's in the middle of the woods.
Okay, Point Echo should be the northern end of the bridge.
Copy is fairly close. Probably our coordinates precision is not good enough.
Class 3-1, continue.
Continue.
Okay, then please put your TGP on the northern end of the bridge, and this is your anchor point.
Is that the north end, isn't it? And turn towards the point.
Yeah,
Again, because
that's the south. Yeah, but that's the south end of the bridge.
Right, 2, Class 3-1. Are you familiar with the medium level talk-on procedure?
no idea what he's saying.
Negative, totally unfamiliar.
Roger, then stand by 1 minute.
Okay, keep the engine low, so let's go this way, it should be good. Just prevent the LANTIRN from masking, please.
Yeah, I'm trying.
Call 3, call in hot with heading.
And Jedi 4 in hot, heading 148.
North. Oh, cool. So this is that one is the new
Jedi 4, clear hot.
point.
Clear hot, Jedi 4.
Oh yeah. Sorry, I made a mistake. Yeah, that's the north end.
Flow 3921. I have the north end of the bridge.
Roger that. So this is now your anchor point. This means we are referencing everything else now from this point. I will tell you that this is your anchor point, and when you see it, then you say contact anchor point.
Copy, contact anchor point.
Roger. Unit of measure is the length of the bridge. Now you look at your TGP and see how long the bridge is on your TGP. And when you see it, you call contact unit of measure.
Contact unit of measure.
Roger that. From the anchor point, go northeast along the road for 1 unit of measure. Oh, cancel that. Sorry, I was giving you a token for the wrong target. From the anchor point,
I'm about to mask.
Find the river that is closest to the part of the river that is closest to the anchor point.
Sorry, say again last. I'm masking.
Coming around.
Anchor point, go towards the river that is, or the river that is just flowing under the bridge.
Just let him know that we are marked and turning around.
Stand by, Cloud 3, we are masking, we have to turn around. Okay, we should be good.
Yeah, you can start talking with him.
Flow 3, Ignite 1, I'm contacting on the echo point.
Roger, confirm you have you are at the river just below the bridge.
Contact the river.
From your contact, go northeast along the river for 2 units of measure. You should be at a part of the river where it has trees to the left of or to one side of it, and you should be pretty much at the center of those trees.
Well, I guess is this one northeast.
Yeah, frågan om det är nära. Is it close to the smoke?
It should be contact. Is it close to a smoke by any chance?
Affirm the target.
Enclave 3 Jedi 4 to begin.
Close to smoke. Class Uber.
Say again, I had the radio clutter. We are going to mask again. Turn.
Affirm the point that I'm giving you is close to the smoke.
Mask late.
And from this point, go perpendicular to the river, away from the line of trees. You should find a vehicle just standing in front of the tree line towards the forest.
Stand by, we're masking. Stand by.
The tree line is...
Why we speaking for like 25 minutes? Fucking calm down. Disregard everything, we are masking, so I'm back to the echo point and the 2 units of measures northeast from the echo point.
Roger, confirm you have the target. Close to smoke. Class Uber.
Say again, I had the radio clutter. We are going to mask again. Turn.
Affirm the point
Because I lost entirely now. I couldn't.
Roger, confirm you have
and Jedi 4 in hot heading 183.
Jedi 4, class 3-1, clear hot.
Clear hot, Jedi 4.
Claw 3, I'm close to the smoke at the moment. Go ahead.
Roger, then we are using the smoke. Call capture on the smoke.
Smoke is captured.
From the smoke, go south 1 unit of measure.
Second last radio clutter.
From the smoke, go south 1 unit of measure.
How am I supposed to say which one is south this way? Copy, I see a target close the location you told me.
Roger, can you identify the target or give me a description of how the target looks like, or how it is oriented, or where it is positioned, so that I can confirm that this is the correct target for you?
Negative ID on anything farther than 6 miles for us. The target appears to be on the south of the river, fairly close to the trees, half unit of measure from the woods, south and east of the target. I'm asking again. Go back.
Watch that. Good capture. This is your target. For your final attack heading, make it 150 plus minus 40. Read back.
Copy. Final attack heading 150 plus minus 40.
And Jedi 4, true check 2.
Copy. Best is, I think, if I extend a bit and then we come in ready.
Check.
Yeah, now it's in your hands. So set up whatever you're comfortable with. We probably should come from the...
Right 2, class 3, push CAS primary.
150 is more or less 6 o'clock now.
Yeah, so set it up as you prefer. Second last, claw 3, please.
Push CAS primary frequency.
Copy. Claw 3, Night 2, checking on CAS primary.
Roger that. When you're ready for your attack, call leaving IP.
Copy. We call when we are leaving the IP. Could have used an easier range with no clouds for the CAS terrain design.
Yeah, no clouds as you said, they would have been much better.
Claw 3, Jedi 4.
Do you have a waypoint for the target or?
Negative. That's the echo point. The target should be 10 degrees to the left of the echo point, but you have to look for the LANTIRN queue when you're set up. So just look at the heading, then follow just the LANTIRN.
Copy. That's the dashes that coming, and let him know that we are in now, and give him the heading.
Claw 3, Night 2-1, we are leaving the IP, heading 187.
Claw 1, continue, call in hot with heading.
Claw 3, Night 2, in hot, heading 186. Terminal.
Night 2, you're clear hot.
Copy, clear dot. 16 seconds.
Copy. Yeah, I have the dash. When that hits the other dash, I push the button.
Yeah, 5 seconds. Pickle.
Pickle.
Night 2, Pickle. Is Pickle the correct one? Never remember.
A4.
Now, keep it there for next for the 20 seconds.
Claw 3, save playtime.
And I'm blazing.
Stand by.
Yeah, copy.
And Claw 3, Jedi 4, playtime 20 minutes.
Roger, and confirm you have 1 GBU left.
Affirm 1 GBU 38.
Good, nice, well done, mate. Well done.
You targeted as well. Yeah, good work.
Night 2, Class 3-1, good check.
Copy, thank you. That's not really in the SOP, copy, thank you, I guess.
It was good that we finally got something on the target.
Yeah, be advised I'm about to mask again. Turn right if you can.
I was just thinking about X. I was thinking we go more or less south to north here from here.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Therefore, I can now push you back towards CAS primary.
CAS primary.
So,
and Class 3, Jedi 4.
Jedi 4, Class 3, confirm that you have your sensors on the area.
Affirm.
Roger that. I will put some smoke on the deck. And this will designate your next target.
Watch it.
Class 3-1, tipping it.
I can read the warning labels on the wing, on the fuselage.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll tell him that we're ready for another run.
You don't need to. He's gonna assign us another target. He's gonna contact us with a 9-liner.
Class 3-1, mark is on the deck.
See the mark next to tank. Is that my target?
Roger that. Tell me the color of the smoke.
Well, I have it on the TGP. No color there.
It's really hard.
Look at the of your cockpit. Are you able to see it?
The color makes sense, but TGP you cannot really tell.
Yeah, we are overflying the target. We have it, to our 3 o'clock now.
Far away. I'm 13 miles out.
Okay, Roger. In that case, scratch that.
And it's white smoke.
This is your correct target. And go ready for CAS brief Delta.
Go ahead.
This will be a Type 2.
We're about to mask again. Can you set up an orbit in this area? See if we can stay not masked. Because basically we're doing a racetrack now, up and down. But it would be great if we can just turn in a circle.
5, 8, correction, elevation.
Yeah, I can try and see if I can set up, but I'm gonna need to be in the right hand orbit, I guess.
Yeah, there is more space on the other side of the LANTIRN.
Target is marked by smoke.
Just gonna be masked via the wing, I guess, if we are in the right hand turn.
And egress back to Echo 5. Read back 4, 6, and 8.
Tally and from the 600 meters northeast, Jedi 4.
Okay, we try it from here.
Yeah, that's good. Except for the fact that there are clouds all over the place.
Northeast 300 meters, copies, Jedi 4.
Okay, now it's good, now it's perfect, yeah. If you can keep it there, it's great.
Good feedback. Make your final attack direction
We'll see.
either north to south.
I'm gonna use the altitude hold and see if that works.
North to south or south to north, Jedi 4.
Roger that, good feedback, and call when you're leaving the IP.
IP inbound, Jedi 4.
About to mask, we're in the boundaries. Yeah, turn. Yep. Masking now. I'm about to visit.
And then call in hot with heading.
Yeah, but we need to, if we're gonna orbit, then you're gonna be masked sometimes. Now you're back again. And now
whenever you see LM, meaning I'm masking, is masking.
he wanted you secondary.
Copy, Clo 391. See, now it looks to be non-masked, but it's actually masked again. And I have the eels coming in now. See them on the lantern. So get a bit closer. We are 10 miles away. We can stay a bit closer.
Copy.
Yeah, it's not really the easiest AO possible, I guess.
Night 3, question Night 2, Class 3. If you put your sensors on the general area, are you able to see the smoke?
Copy, I see 3 smokes at the moment. 4.
Stand by. July 4, continue.
Just gonna go a bit closer.
Yep.
Night 2, put your sensors on the smoke, and you should see towards the south.
July 4 in hot heading 188.
Should be the smoke to the left.
Claw 3, I have 3 smokes at the moment. So one is the reference that we used before, one is the previous target that we hit, and another one is northeast of the AO. Clouds. Bloody hell, so annoying.
Are you able to discern the smoke marker from the other smoke?
Negative.
Roger, then the smoke marker is the one that just went silent.
That doesn't really help, unfortunately.
Nah,
Okay,
but that
no,
was the one north of. Yeah.
Yes, this one. Yeah, so this one.
The other flight will drop a bomb on the target shortly and make sure to capture the explosion. And your target will be close to the explosion.
Copy, I just saw smoke running off anyway, but we monitor the area for this incoming smoke. Masking.
Roger.
Yeah, I'm just going around, so I'm gonna be back shortly.
Jedi 4, pick up. Jedi 4, off hot.
So I guess it's one of these two here.
Yeah, you can see 2 o'clock down low there, or the target there. You see the shot?
Yeah, I see him.
That was a close miss. Your bomb was impacting 6, correction, 8
in the middle
meters
now.
to the south.
Okay.
Confirm you have no more GVUs?
Okay, that's good.
I am Winchester, Jedi 4.
I see both tanks.
Roger, and say remaining playtime?
Yeah, cool.
15 minutes, Jedi 4.
Well, Roger, I can give you then a gun run if you can stay with me for 10 more minutes.
Roger that.
Night 2, Claw 3. Did you see the impact on your TGP?
Yeah, affirmative. We're masking to around if you can.
Tell me the vehicles that you see close of the impact.
Second last.
Tell me if you see vehicles close to the impact.
Affirmative, I see 2 tanks in between 2 buildings north of the road.
Excellent. Those are your targets. And call ready for CAS brief Delta.
Copy, ready, CAS brief Delta.
bomb on target, ordnance your discretion. Line 1, 2 and 3 not applicable. Elevation per tally. Target is 2 times T72. Location per tally. No smog. Friendlies northeast 300 meters. Egress back towards IP. Read back 4, 6 and 8.
Copy line 4 and 6 Bertelli, and line 8 friendly is northeast 300 meters.
Good, read back. Your restrictions are final attack direction, north to south or south to north. Read back.
Restriction, final attack heading north to south.
I say again, north to south or south to north.
Also.
It's your discretion.
Copy north to south or south to north, tower discussion.
Good, read back. Call when you are leaving IP.
Copy, call you back when leaving IP. 91.
Just gonna extend a bit.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah, I have a needle in the middle, so I need to adjust it a little bit, a couple of degrees when we turn hot, but everything else is pretty fine.
Yeah, copy.
Remember, so either adding 180 or 0. It's up to you, whatever you are comfortable with.
Secondary.
Copy. I'm gonna go coming in from the north and go
and
south.
Roger. Confirm you are able to do a laser spot search.
Affirm.
Roger that. My laser code 1531. Put your TGP on point echo and then stare.
Okay, I'm gonna call him that we are leaving the AP.
Yeah, you can do that once we are level, wings level, and then in hot in the same direction.
Oh, copy. The problem with me looking down all the time is that sometimes I don't realize where you're not wings level.
Now I'm at wings level.
Clue 3, Night 2, leaving the IP, adding 183.
Copy.
Night 2, say again.
Night 2 is leaving the IP, 20 seconds to release.
And in hot with heading.
In hot with heading.
We are in hot, adding 181.
Night 2, you are cleared hot.
Copy, cleared out. Yeah, I need to remember the procedure.
Yeah, no worries.
And Claw 3, Jedi 4.
Night 2, pickle.
Claw 3 on CAS secondary.
Jedi 4 is on secondary.
Yeah, affirm.
I'm lazy.
I'm ready for your message.
Confirm I'm clear to engage.
That's a negative. I just wanted to know if you can see the target.
I got target.
And please describe it so that I am sure that you actually capture on the correct target.
Very nice seat.
Copy. But don't forget that we have two targets down there, and he wanted both of them.
On top of a hill, next to another APC.
If you can see the other one.
When we turn back.
This is your target, and call ready for
because now it's covered by the smoke.
Go ahead, frag up.
This will be a Type 2 bomb on target with guns.
Okay, I got a target, so it's up to you. When you're ready, let me know. I'm gonna call the WDP.
Delta 5.
I'm gonna do the same procedure, so I'm gonna go north and then coming in from the north.
Target location per tally.
Yeah, whatever you're happy with.
No smog, no mark, friendlies, northeast, 600 meters. Egress,
bloody hell, it's so... This AO, like... it's so annoying, between the clouds and the wheels and...
Per tally,
Yeah,
readback. Make your final attack heading between... stop back.
But probably I can call you leaving the IP without the heading, or the heading is native when I leave the IP, because I'm not clear going out.
Leaving IP, you just tell him that you're starting your attack run, so there is no need for the heading. It's just when it's type 2 in effect and type 1, you want to say which heading you are, so he can look for you.
360 plus minus 20 and try to kill both in one run, Jedi 4.
Good readback, call leaving IP.
You can just let him know that we are, if we are cleared to engage the second target this time, so he knows that we are on our second run.
Night 2, Claw 3.
Claw 3, go ahead.
I can confirm good check on one of those targets. Confirm you have capture on second target.
Confirm capture second target, we are about to turn hot.
Claw 3 copies.
Okay, you can tell him that we are leaving IP.
Claw 3, Night 2, we are leaving the IP.
Claw 3 copies. Be advised, Jedi 4 is also close to tipping in. Recommend holding off your attack until Jedi 4 has conducted his attack.
Copy, we are reverting back to the AP. Let's go back. We probably could have dropped, isn't it?
Yeah, but he just wanted to make sure that we didn't hit him with our bombs. So.
That's alright, I mean, makes sense actually. I expected him to be already almost hot. But look at him on the TID and he's west of the area now. He's not hot yet.
We extend for a bit and then we can correct our direction so we come in more or less from the north to the south.
Yeah, sounds good.
Just going to conserve fuel a bit. We are down to 7,100.
Yeah. Well, I think we can turn again. I mean, how long does this take in? We are at 20 minutes.
I haven't heard. Yeah, but I haven't heard him that he left his IP or in hot or anything. Have you heard him?
No, negative. We are listening to both comms, both radios. We are 20 miles north of
Yeah.
the echo now.
Yeah, 21.
And Jedi 4 tipping in.
Copy. Then we turn around.
And Jedi 4 in hot 353. Jedi 4 confirm cleared hot.
Call 3, primary radio check.
Wasn't that for us? No.
Call 3, Jedi 4.
He's talking on the other frequency. Close 3, 921, radio check.
This is Call 3, Richard Lima Charlie. Be advised, Call 3 has technical difficulties. RTB Kutaisi as emergency.
Copy, no eyes.
You can continue with the training together with the other flights at your own discretion. I'm checking out. Sorry for that.
Copy, no problem. Venom 8, isn't it? Venom 8 and 921.
Yes, I think.
Clo 3 as an emergency is RTB on Kutaisi at the moment. We can carry on the two of us. The three of us, actually.
Class 3 from Jedi 4 in primary.
Well, we are 12 miles from the target. No, Jedi 4, not Venom 8. Jedi 4, 921, sorry, wrong call sign. Clo 3 as an emergency is RTB at the moment.
Copy that.
Jedi 4, be advised, we are in hot, heading 169.
Copy.
Why I don't get the... There's something wrong here.
Okay. Should I drop the bomb or?
And all flights be advised, Jedi 4 coming in for low gun pass.
Yeah,
South to north.
I'm not getting the... Okay. For some reasons I'm not getting the point tracking. Night 2, pickle.
Yeah.
Why is not... now raising.
Looks like a tank.
Yeah, it looks like, but normally I get the point tracking. I'm not getting on this one.
Time to release. Jesus. There's
Yeah,
something.
that's normal. That's
okay,
normal.
check.
Because I tried to reset by changing the thingy later after you dropped. It's fine.
Okay. Yeah, it was a check anyway.
Yeah, yeah. So it looks very good.
So what do you say? We are a bit low on fuel. Is it time to go home?
Well, I have a target.
Jedi 4 tipping in. Final attack heading north.
Okay.
For your Zunis, if you want.
Yeah, sure. You mean going low with?
Yeah, why not? The guy's doing gun runs anyway.
Yeah, copy. Then we go around, and since he was coming in from the north, wasn't he?
Yeah, I'm gonna look for whatever target is left around. We just drop.
Jedi 4 in hot.
Copy any not. So what do you want? Pairs, singles? How do you want them?
I would prefer pairs. I have no idea. I never shot with them before.
Pairs quantity?
2. So.
So just one.
Once I press. Yeah, I get the single pair off. Exactly.
I never remember which one is priority, but that should be fine. Now we need to find another target. Which is there already.
Is that the target?
Yeah, looks like.
Okay, copy. Then that's best coming in from the south, isn't it?
You have the hill.
Jedi 4 rounds on target. Off hot.
You have the hills, so probably you can go and follow the river. Maybe.
To the north, going RTB.
Copy that. Jedi 4.
I think I want to come in through the valley here and shoot at it. It's going to be quite a steep exit otherwise.
Yeah, that's why I was saying if you follow the river, it's pretty open. You can just go in and out.
Yeah. See if I see the target.
You can use the pod, and I can try to turn you.
Turning it.
So maybe let's find the river first.
We are on top of the valley that I'm gonna enter.
Okay.
My mask, so I don't see it behind the cloud.
I'm also scanning for other targets, maybe something easier, something more in the open. Probably that the FLIR in DCS is kind of awful, let's say, euphemism. Because all the trees are on fire, literally, because they come, they all come messed up. They're all white.
Yeah, I have a lot of clouds. We see how that goes.
Night 2 going in hot for rocket pass. Okay, 3 degrees to the right. And then it should be off your nose.
See, I'm masked with the clouds, so we see how this goes.
So if you see the two smokes, it's basically same line. You see that they look like a gate, you know, football gate. Go through them, right in the middle of them, on the south of the river. Should be 6 degrees on the right.
And it's on the other side of the river, isn't it?
Yeah. Looks like a track, yeah, it's like a communication track or something. You seen it?
Negative. I aborted. There was too much cloud for me, so once I was cleared, I couldn't adjust.
What if you come from this side? Is it better?
I can try, come in a bit steeper.
So I'm gonna zoom out entirely on the LANTIRN, so you can have a look at the area, so you see where the target is.
Yeah, cool.
As soon as you turn cold, turn hot again, we should have the line of sight.
Okay, let's try.
Yeah, it looks like that you have perfect view from this side if you turn hot now. Have a quick look at the lantern if you can when you are wings level. Okay, if you see the bridge, right behind the bridge basically, there's an opening.
Cool.
Do you see it? Oh, I forgot to put you in CCIP by the way. So this way.
Okay, so now I need to have the.
Yeah, you have it.
I get a pipper.
Yeah, you should see the target now. Is in the opening. 2 miles away. If you see the bridge, just behind, literally little bit behind the bridge.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that was a bit too far, wasn't it?
Yeah, close, but not close enough. Yeah, do another run. We are still a few 5,300. What did you set as bingo?
Yeah. 4,000.
Oh, then we still have at least a couple of other passes.
Yeah, couple.
So you can have some fun as well. Otherwise, it must be pretty boring.
Yeah, but it's good with the coordination and getting to know the limitation of the LANTIRN and such.
Yeah, it seems to be an easy job keeping the lantern not masked, but actually between the clouds, hills, and all the other stuff is not that easy.
No.
So it's a game in the game for the pilot.
But I totally agree with you that we shouldn't use the clouds on this kind of practice.
But almost at all, I would say. Or either you have a full layer, so everyone is covered, otherwise it doesn't really make much sense. Anyway, target is 6 miles from the target. You have off your nose 1 degree to the left, so you should be pretty happy. 5 miles now. Four miles. Do you have it?
Negative, not yet.
2 miles. Use the bridge as a reference. It should be right before the bridge. You can have a look at the lantern. 1 mile.
They don't go to the cross where you have the cross. They go somewhere else. It was a lot higher. I had the cross over the target.
What do you mean?
You have the bombing cross, but I should probably not use that.
CAP should be fine for the rocket delivery.
But they went far too high from where the cross were pointed. It went into the woods.
I'm not really sure what's wrong with it because the radar is on. Are you in into ground mode?
Oh yeah, but I never fired those rockets, so I don't know how they handle. Okay, let's fence out and head back to base.
Unless you wanna kill it with guns. Guns, we know where the guns gone. We know where the guns go, so we can use the guns if we want. It's up to you.
Okay, have. But how do I go into that? Do you use guns with air-to-ground mode?
Yeah, I should be working.
So you just push the weapons button up once?
Well, you can try. I mean, no one is looking. I still practice, so just click it. Okay, 11 miles. Target is 5 degrees left of your nose.
Yeah, I'm a bit lost with the clouds, but I'm gonna go in, so I'm gonna tip into the left down on the target.
Yep.
If I see it. I have masked by clouds.
Yeah, turn left. Keep going left, otherwise you have a tree right in the middle. Keep going left. Target is behind the trees, so you won't see him from this direction. You need to turn more to the left. If you turn a little bit to the left again, you should have a view of the target. Okay, it's about to pop up from the trees. Okay, you should have line of sight now. Yeah, alright, let's go.
They were a bit long day as well, so.
Right, so fans out, I guess.
Yes.
Destination I set Kutaisi. Let me see. I set the Takan 44 X-ray for Kutaisi as well.
Yeah, but you have set the waypoint as well, haven't you?
Yeah, it's up to you. We need to change the mode to cruise or to air, and we're pretty much set.
Cool. Gonna climb up.
Yeah, we still have 4,000 views, so we're very happy.
Oh yeah, we're quite close as well, so.
Yeah, 26 miles from the AO.
And set the radio to touch the tower.
Yeah, you're right. Set.
Spectre 1, Beast 2-1, you're number 3 in the bed, I'm Venom 8-1 over at break. Then number 2 Beast over at break, Spectre number 3 after Beast. On the break.
We have one bomb left, don't we?
Yep.
8, Venom 8-2 in the break.
So could you pickle that one so we could do an overhead break? You're not allowed to do that with live ordnance.
Want me to do jetties on it?
Yeah.
Okay, I can jetties on the tanks as well. I mean,
No worries. You can have those, but if you are according to SOAP, you're not allowed to do overhead break with bombs on your aircraft.
Okay, copy. Can you give me the master ramp, please?
Beast 1 on the break.
Master arms on. Thanks.
Should I drop the Izuni as well?
Negative. They can be there.
Okay, we should be good now.
Yeah, just gonna extend a bit.
from the west, 20 miles descending from flight level 100 to 060.
Base 21, base turn with the gear, visual when. Hitachi Tower, night 2-1, with you. Flight level 9,015 miles out.
Hitachi Tower X12, visual with installation and en route for full supply.
Probably have to extend so we don't...
you're on the radio.
Oh, sorry. We probably have to extend so it's not coming with the X flight.
Yeah.
Yeah, last call of Kutaisi, Spectre 1-1's final.
X-Flight, this is Snake. I'm above you on the same path. Snake will do our overhead brake pattern to get you space and time.
Venom 82 runway vacated.
Venom 8 flight vacated in runway 08.
X1 to copy.
Axe, this is Spectre 1-2. We got your visual. We're 2 times Tomcat, low on your nose, about 3 or 4 miles. We're going to take an overhead brake ahead of you at Kutaisi. How copy?
Okay, that everyone is coming over this
Copy
time.
that. Do we have time or we should...
No idea, but it's probably due to fuel, I
If
guess.
you do an overhead brake, you have time.
No, we will not do overhead brake.
Then I recommend a left orbit and your current location, brake. Snake flight, if you want to follow Spectre flight in the overhead brake, we're now about 4 miles, 7 miles, correction.
This is Snake 7, I'm 7 miles southwest, ready for overhead brake on Kutaisi.
Snake, say altitude?
1070.
Okay, we are above you and you're probably right below us, so I recommend Spectre flight takes a right hand and gets in behind Axe. Have you got the fuel for that, Spectre 1-1?
Yeah, we'll come off the runway line out. We're right turn. I'm blind on last caller.
Copy that. Okay, all flights, this is Spectre 1-2. Snake 1, or Snake whatever call sign will take the first position in the lineup. They're going to do an overhead brake. Axe takes second position in the lineup for a straight approach. Spectre will be third in lineup for an overhead brake. How copy report in sequence?
Snake 7, in overhead brake first.
X copy second.
Spectre 1.
Yankee Hitachi Tower, night 2-1, 23 miles out. 5,000 feet for an overhead brake at Hitachi. From southwest.
We have 3 contacts coming head on.
Snake 7, overhead brake and in downwind.
Copy that. We see once we get in close. I'm gonna report, see if they have landed all of them. Or...
Spectre.
Spectre, go for X.
Report current position.
X is at UGK or west, flight level 045 or established left hand.
You cut off at the end. Did you establish left what?
Left hand wheel.
Copy, you're good to go in now. Snake's in the brake. Report when lined up to 08 for finals. Brake.
Target's coming head on.
Snake, traffic, Snake 7 is line up for
right.
final.
There they are.
X copies, turning to...
We see them.
Copy, they are 1 o'clock.
6 o'clock now.
Copy, we have 2 aircraft that are 1 o'clock now. Roughly, but they are probably going in for landing now.
Traffic, Snake 7, on short
I'm gonna orbit it.
Yep.
Next tower 921 is orbiting 12 miles southwest, flight level or Angels 5.
Alright, this is Spectre. We're going to be behind Axe. Do you want to go in behind Spectre?
That suits me fine. I'm orbiting 12 miles southwest, waiting for my turn.
Copy, we're currently 20 miles out to the west. If you extend down to 20 miles west and then start your approach for an overhead break.
Copy. Extending 20 miles. All stations, tower is now sunrise. Awesome. Connected tower X on final, runway 08. 3 green. X tower, wind 040 degrees, 3 knots, runway 08, clear to land. X1. Tower Snake 7, runway located via Bravo. Tower copy, Snake.
Bravo, that was quick.
Must have been very short on fuel.
Yeah, it's hard to get the aircraft up on that ship.
Miles to the west of the field. Expect flight 15.2 miles west of the field there for overhead break. Tower copies, continue.
We are 20 miles now.
Tower. Night 1, Angels 5, 20 miles west of Keyhole. Night tower, radar contact. Spectre tower, your discretion, descent pattern altitude. Night tower, when able. Go for night. Will you be setting up for an overhead break or straight in? Overhead break. Tower copy. Night 1, you send altitude 3,500 feet on QNH 2953. Copy. 3,500 feet. Spectre descent 2,500. Spectre tower. Spectre is 5 miles and descent per pan. Tower copies. Contested tower X flight vacated runway on Delta. Tower copies, taxi Delta November for Redmouth. X copy Delta November from North. Spectre report on the break. Spectre 1 on the break. Tower. Spectre 1-2 in the break. Night tower, descent 2,500. Descending 1,500. Negative 2,500. Copy. 2,500.
This must be quite boring for you, just sitting back there.
Yeah, I'm tempted to just call tower and say Judy, but long story. No, it's fine. It's alright. Just enjoying the view. Did you have fun, or was it boring for you?
I mean, I think it was quite fun, learning the limitation and refreshing the talk on, and so yeah, I thought it was fun.
The A10 is a little bit more advanced.
Spectre flight, the wind is 0 degrees.
Yeah.
3 knots, runway 08.
I wish we had the F14D. Bigger screen, digital stuff.
Yeah. Spectre 1 cleared to land 3, green and locked, and reporting short finals, runway 08.
Tower Knight wants to descend to 1500 feet.
Knight approved as requested descent 1500, QNH 29.53.
Copy. Sending 1500 feet, QNH 29.53.
Check pre-brake, wing swept.
Spectre 1-2, reporting final 3 greens for 08.
Spectre 1-2, wind is calm, runway 08, please land.
Pitch 108, Spectre 1-2.
Kitasi Tower, Viper 1-1 enabled.
Viper 1-1 Tower, go ahead.
Tower, Viper single F-16 inbound from the southwest at 17 miles, straight in approach.
Tower copies, Viper, report altitude.
Altitude 8,000 feet.
We are climbing.
Viper Tower, you identified
No, when you're ready for the preliminary check.
QNH 29.53, number 2.
Viper copies.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Wings unfolded, looks good. Flaps full.
Copy.
And DLC engaged, seems okay.
Park, that's ramped off, switching up.
And 3 greens.
Tower copies, see you.
Copy.
Yeah, should be happy.
Thank you, Tower Knight 2-1 on the downwind.
Knight 2-1, continue.
Tower Knight 2-1 turning west.
Tower copies, Knight number 1. Spectre report vacated.
Spectre vacated to Charlie and request taxi.
Tower copies, taxi Charlie, November for right north.
Spectre 2, November, left north.
And Spectre confirm runway is vacated.
Spectre 2 still on active. Clear.
Cross transmission, Spectre confirm runway vacated.
Spectre 1-2, about to vacate Bravo 2 seconds.
Thank you, sir.
Correction, Charlie.
Roger, Spectre 1-2, when vacated, taxi Charlie, November for right north.
Copy and vacated.
Thank you, sir. Break, night, the wind is calm, runway 08, clear to land.
Because the tower, 9-1, clear to land. 3 greens. On short fire.
Thank you, sir. Break, Viper, descend altitude 1,500 feet, QNH 29.53.
Viper copies all.
Viper, read back.
Altitude 1,500 feet, QNH 2953, Viper 1-1.
Thank you, sir.
And Viper is runway visual 3.7 miles, 3 greens.
Tower copies, Viper, number 2, continue.
Viper 1-1.
And night, if able, continue rollout and Could turn left on Charlie. Copy.
Okay, Charlie is not the last one is Delta. So the first one to the left.
Affirm.
Oh, well.
Viper 1-1, the wind is calm, number 08, clear to
I'm
land.
still new to fixed wing, so I need to check the name of the runways. you know them already.
Yeah, I know A, B, C, D. Just to keep track of where A is and D is. So.
Thank you, sir. Taxi Charlie, November for ramp north.
Charlie, November for ramp north. 921.
But it makes it a lot easier when you have someone sitting in the tower instead of coordinating with all the flights. How about the land?
It's that time of the year.
Yeah.
Taxi Tower, Viper 1, located at Delta.
Thank you, sir. Viper 1, taxi Delta, November for ramp north. Taxi in sequence with night.
Delta November for ramp north, in sequence, Viper 1.
Taste Tower, Arson 6-1. Arson 6-1, bye.
I'm lagging a lot, but thanks God the mission is finished.
Yeah, it's a lot of lag at the moment.
Arson 6-1, go ahead. Arson 6-1, a Singleton Viper out to the southeast, or rather to the east, I guess, by 15.15 miles, descending through Rangers 11 to rejoin. Arson at the time, nigga, for our contact figure possible.
Yeah.
I am inbound the Katesi Takan at 281 for 10 miles, descending through Angels at 10.
Maybe a bit too far, but it will do.
He's alright. Cool. Right, catch you in briefing.
Night 2-1, park position, request chat on.
Night, approved as requested, have a good night.
Good night, thank you, services.
Right, catch you in briefing.
Spectre 1-2 are at ramp north and we are waiting shutdown.
Spectre 1-2 shutdown, at all discretion is approved.
Thank you very much, good night.
Channel switched. Microphone activated.
Hello.
Hey, Karen.
Hey, Karen.
What happened, mate?
What I wanted to do is there was 2 APCs that I gave to the Jedi flight for engagement, and I wanted to get in those APCs to shoot some tracers in his general direction.
User left your channel.
And the moment that I got into cockpit, I lost all my comms and my A10 reset back to cold and dark startup.
User joined your channel.
So I actually lost like everything that I have prepared. And then I wanted to use the shortcut on my keyboard to reset or to turn down one of the radios that was screaming in my ear. And by accident, I found the button for open canopy. And this did not go well.
Amazing. Well, some fresh air, isn't it?
Yeah, and I went back as an emergency to Kutaisi.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Very shameful.
It's alright. It's been great.
Okay, so how did it go from your point of view?
Lots of issues because of the terrain masking, especially the clouds. The clouds are not synced in multiplayer. So my pilot had some clouds. I had different clouds, so it was kind of complex because we need to see the target. It's not that we really need to see the target, the both of us. I mean, I need to just see it myself. But it was kind of complex asking him to avoid the masking and the clouds as well when the clouds are in different positions. It's not really easy.
This is totally insane. You have different clouds for different people in the same aircraft?
Yeah. But everyone has different clouds in DCS, in multiplayer. They are not synchronized.
Okay, I was not aware of that.
Yeah, it's as old as DCS as well. In fact, I think we should add either like a thick layer of clouds, so everyone basically is blind in a certain level, flight level, or nothing at all, because otherwise it's just so messy. And then it was full of hills and stuff around, so finding the correct angle to do the circuit was kind of... but except for that, it was great.
And the resolution is really bad in the LANTIRN as well. And what was it? You said we shouldn't be above 20,000, wasn't it, Karen?
Yep. In real life, about 25,000 feet, I read that the LANTIRN basically blows up or catches fire. So technically we should fly much lower with the LANTIRN. And yeah, it's one of the very first generation pods. Second generation probably, I don't remember. So the zoom is optical. Meaning it's like opening Photoshop and just zooming in on paint and then just zooming in. So the detail is very low. Beyond 5-6 miles we cannot ID anything. We can sort of understand the shapes, but that's pretty much it.
Okay. One general thing. Whenever you have a bad line of sight, so you can't get a view on the target that I want to give you, you can always ask for another position, for another flight level, for everything. My duty as the JTAG or the FAC A is to make the CAS as efficient as possible, and if you cannot do your job, then I did something wrong, so then please just tell me and I will let you find a better spot that suits you and I can shuffle around the other flights.
Okay, that's a good point. But I think it's a combination of the terrain, the LANTIRN pod, the clouds. But except for that, everything else was pretty okay.
For a CAS training for people who have never really done CAS before, range 2A is a kind of difficult choice, especially because of the terrain.
So eventually probably we flew literally over the target, although we shouldn't have, because we simply couldn't find a decent angle, because at some point I had decent angle, but there were clouds. And again, asking the pilot to dodge the clouds that he doesn't see is kind of something. I mean, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
No, but apart from getting the LANTIRN on the target without masks, I think it was pretty fun. The rust, and I think Karen, you did a great job. I thought it was fun once we managed to find out how the LANTIRN worked, and we could more or less be on the target.
Yeah, but looking at the target view at the moment, we flew over the target area, all of us, even the was it Jedi 4? He flew over the target as well a couple of times because the terrain was a valley, so you couldn't engage from a direction different than the actual valley itself.
Yeah.
And the problem of the Tokon is that I studied the Tokon and then we got the masking with all the clouds in the middle, so yeah, we had to reset a couple of times. So sorry about that, but I couldn't do anything else.
It's definitely not your fault. When the terrain is shitty, then yeah. as I said, next time just let me know if the position is not good for you, and I will try to see what I can do for you. The issue was that the ground elevation was 7,000 feet and above, so you would never really be in an overhead wheel less than 10,000 feet above ground level just to be safe man pads. And so, since I have the least powerful aircraft, I was the lowest, then the Hornet, and then the Tomcat, of course, because you have the most power. And I thought, okay, you can get back to your flight level really quickly after the engagement. But I did not factor in that you actually have the least capable targeting pod.
Yeah, well, as a older technology, you cannot do much about it.
Yeah.
The only thing that I would like to ask you, when you do the talk on, maybe cut into shorter sentences, because I wanted to interrupt you a couple of times saying, okay, we are masking, but you carried on. Minor thing, just for you, otherwise you have to repeat everything again.
Okay, Roger.
But again, really minor, just because of the terrain and all the issues that we had. Otherwise, I mean, it's perfect. It's more actually for you, because, you know, asking, after you had described all the target area, saying, okay, let's reset from the echo point is it's not really nice.
Yeah, okay.
Everything else, I guess, went fine. We read the target perfectly, so the LANTIRN tracked very well. I don't know if Level fell asleep at some point.
No, I was trying to keep the aircraft. So we had the LANTIRN pon on the target. So I had to adjust all the time. I saw the rectangle moving. Oh, it's almost out of boundaries and time to turn. But how, Professor, was it from your viewpoint?
For me, it was so especially the beginning was kind of slow paced, and I was kind of wondering what's going on. And then, okay, once I figured out how that it was difficult for you to have a good line of sight, then it became much clearer. For me, besides, it went kind of well. So especially since you've were quickly to adapt when I switched you back and forth between primary and secondary, so that I can have both flights working on the targets kind of at the same time. And yeah, that went also really well, I think. And yeah, I'm generally happy with the training. As I said, the terrain is tricky, and if you have never done CAS before, then this was a really good start.
I have done it a couple of times, but I think it was the first time for you, Karen, wasn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, you handled it excellent. So.
Well, it's not complicated. I used to play as for fun JTAC 8 years ago, when there was just the Black Shark and the A10. But I haven't done it in like 6 years, 7 years. 6 years.
Okay.
So basically, yeah, I'm new. But again, it's not really difficult. The problem is doing the talk on, or when you have some certain conditions, for example, the terrain, clouds, and things like that. But except for that, no complaints at all about what you did or controls or anything else. It was really everything was clear.
Okay, that's very nice to hear. I have one minor remark still. When I switch you back and forth between primary and secondary frequency, make it a habit to turn down the other radio that you are not currently using or talking to me on. So we had it on multiple times that Jedi Flight told me something on the other radio, and then you said the radio was cluttered. Turn it down a bit so that this doesn't happen.
Yeah, the problem is the controls are not implemented. I mean, are implemented, but they don't work at the moment with the volume. I had these issues all the time. So either I change frequency entirely, or I don't know, because changing frequency is not really the best thing to do.
Okay.
Especially when we're talking on the front radio, and for example, if I'm speaking with my wingman, for example, I need to monitor the AWACS as well. I cannot change the frequency of the AWACS. So, yeah, it's a problem until they fix it. Is a problem.
Okay, I see. And yeah, one more thing regarding the authentication. So I know we just had this talk on TeamSpeak for the briefing, but the way I see it is when you are asking me to authenticate, or for example, I ask you to authenticate, then I can be sure that you are actually a friendly. But exactly spoken, you cannot be sure that I am a friendly because I have not passed your authentication. So always make it a habit also to authenticate both ways.
Yeah, sure. It was just that we just talked about it, and Entropy said no, you shouldn't do it. So that's why I normally always do the both ways authentication.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
Well, I see that everyone is in briefing gate. Shall we jump them as well? Because I think we're pretty happy with our mission at the moment.
Yeah, sure.
Yep.
User left your channel.
Off target and stuff, and the friendlies were not too far away actually. So it was quite good.
That's not bad. I mean,
yeah, exactly.
Well, my flight was shit, so.
Well, you're shit anyway, so.
Mine was worse.
We call you a shitler for a reason, you know.
Yeah, I've heard that one before.
I gotta ask, has anybody else experienced a massive drop in FPS tonight?
Yes!
Yep.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yep. I had like 19 or 20.
Yep. Yep.
That's really bad.
No.
I had never more than 22, mostly 15.
When I moved around the tank columns, they started warping all over the place, like they were on ice skates.
Yep. And did anybody else experience trim run away every 30 seconds?
No.
Superior plane.
I have a question, because I need to go in a couple of minutes.
Yeah.
Can we get rid of the clouds, please?
No.
I mean, you know how messy it is when the clouds are not synchronized between the pilot and the Rio?
We were just talking about it.
Is so terrible. I mean, if we have a thick layer of clouds, then it's fine. I mean, everyone is blind above certain levels, so who cares? But if it's scattered like this one, is painful. And our AO was in the middle of the valleys, so it was like.
Yeah, this also creates a problem when the pilot and the Rio are discussing, and we were asking. Well, I was saying to my Rio, "Can you ask for the lasing for this? We can't self-designate." And I'm sure he was thinking, what are you talking about?
So either no clouds or like a thick cloud layer, so we're good.
Just leave it to Rio, this decision.
Yeah, as long as I just trusted you, man.
Think about our condition was middle of the hills and valleys, so and the mountains, and then we have to take into account the masking by the fuselage itself, and the clouds that basically my pilot couldn't see because they were different, they were synchronized. Painful.
I was okay with that once I looked left and right. We could hold the track if we kept a right hand turn it. We were at 18,000, so it was good all the way. We can see over the tip. People lower might have been masked.
Yeah, but you can't do that when you don't have hills and very high mountains and peaks and stuff, because otherwise you're not really free to move anywhere you want, just to dodge the mountains, to dodge the clouds.
Well, anyway. I was outside the valley, so it should have been perfectly masked, but keeping the line of attack that Entropy gave us was perfect because it used the valley, so we actually were based on that advice. It was really easy.
Anyway, how did it go? Have fun, everyone?
Cheers, Karen. Cheers.
Yeah, no.
Cheers. I am also going to knock it off. My sincere apologies go to Junior for frankly wasting your time.
Hey, no worries. You got the right talk on. Just maybe we could debrief individually on Discord like later, because now it's really late. But
I tried sending you a DM already, it didn't get through.
Say again?
I tried sending you a DM already, it didn't get through.
Oh, that's weird. Should do. I'll catch you later anyway. But the talk on finally was effective with the support of the mark, I think. And without the release, although you were on the right finals. Just one thing is never push controller to clear you. Just wait for him to pull you out from the hold onto the final attack heading, and that's when you initiate. First, we need to get the readbacks, then do the correlation, and then pull you in.
So just to give you some very quick context, because I need to head off as well. I had no idea where Point Echo was, and the problem there is there are so many towns and villages that are all having streams run through them or near them with roads and forests and God knows whatever. It looks the same, and so the coordinates are fine, but with the Viper at the moment there is simply no way for me to put coordinates in and see where it is if the steer points are not in the mission.
Gotcha. Yeah, I know.
The plane is not ready. The plane is not ready.
Yeah, exactly.
The plane
it's just
will never
too
be
early.
ready.
These guys here.
Maybe.
Same for the Hornet. Hornet is not ready for doing cast work on a precise level.
Maybe in the editor try putting like 2 or 3 waypoints that you will have steer points that you can arrange later on when you hop in the cockpit until it's solved.
Potentially, but that requires quite a lot of coordination with the...
Just put 3 random dots on your waypoints. You can edit them on your startup, and because you have to you need to have active steer points in the system in the cartridge.
Yeah, sure. So ultimately, it went downhill from there. I mean, when I went and played with Looney and I could get visual talk-ons, it works out when I actually remember to select the right munitions and enable master arm switch and things like that. But yeah.
We need to get back to the old rule. I wrote it in my after action review. If there's a trainee in CAS, there needs to be 1 trainee per 1 controller and no more, because we need to talk more and not focus on the procedure. We did focus on the procedure so everyone could get a piece of their cake for today and attack. But later on we need to stick to this rule and then have 1:1 ratio controller attacker.
If it's any consolation, Junior, I was determined to make it work, and I eventually pushed off station with £500 left and landed with 100.
Good night. Thank you, Professor Level. Bye bye.
Good night.
Disconnected.